We're live.
We're live. Welcome to... Now, the problem is, I don't know what episode we're on. What episode are we on? 221, says the crowd, and you know what? I believe you.
How do you know?
I believe you. That's what YouTube says, and I believe it so hard. And Dan...
It's on. It's on.
Dan, speak.
Hello.
Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem early on.
Start.
Hello.
Well, let's get another.
Oh.
I wanted the green one.
Well, the green one's broken. That's out of commission for now. Are you doing all right, though, Dan, otherwise?
I'm chilling.
You're chilling?
I'm chilling. I intentionally picked the non-water options here.
Yeah, Dan doesn't drink water. In case anybody's unaware, she's a pickled human being.
Have we ever litigated that on the show before?
I don't know whether we have, actually. Have we exposed you?
Guys, have we?
I have. Definitely have, yeah.
Okay.
I was ready to do it again, so
No.
thank you.
No, we've done this bit.
We did. So I saw a fan at the venue who didn't say anything to me. Was like, "Hey, are you Dryad?" Yeah, that's me. Is it true that you don't drink water?
That's what people know about you.
There was nothing else. There was nothing else. Not picture, no hi, nothing else. It was just a real question.
Okay. Shia, you're from Toronto, right?
I am from Toronto. I look like I'm from Persia today, or Iran, I guess. But like, yeah, experimenting with tank tops. But I am from Toronto, and I was late. That means I truly am from Toronto. So yeah.
Okay.
Why were you late, Shia?
A highway on Clarkson was closed, so I had to like redouble. Anyways,
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
What I do care about, though, is which member of the audience has come from the furthest. So I've got a way of trying to decide this. Now, here's what I'd like to do. If you have traveled from outside of this continent, can we get you to stand up? Oh, we do have some people from outside. Okay. So now, if you had to travel for over 6 hours on a flight, stay stood up.
Josh, where outside of North America would be less than 6 hours?
Iceland.
Iceland.
All our shout out to all our Greenlandic viewers coming out for this.
If you're from Greenland. Okay, well, stupid question. Sorry, I'll let the geography wizard take over then.
You're the one who's supposed to be good at
All
geography.
right, okay. Well, what's further away is... Europe's got to be the next closest continent, isn't it?
Sure.
All right. So if you came from further than Europe, stay stood up.
Goodbye, Europeans. Much like Masters Toronto in many ways.
Crazy.
Do you see Jen standing in the background?
Yeah, Jen.
I don't think she counts.
Now, Jen, you were paid to come here, so that does not count.
We literally have paid chatters for today. Wait, all of you are, I'm realizing.
Kurt, could you run the microphone over to these good people and see where they're from? And then we'll have to sort out which of them has traveled the furthest with our extensive geography knowledge.
Where are you from, sir?
New Zealand.
New Zealand!
He wins.
I think we have a winner
He
already.
wins.
I'm from Australia.
Wait.
It's farther.
Wait.
No, because New Zealand's on the right side, but is that right closer? That right's closer
Yes.
to Canada, not America.
Because you fly east to
New
Canada.
Zealand is closer. Or New Zealand is further.
How?
Okay.
But New Zealand's on the right. Are you going yay ways or yay ways?
Australia is farther. Never mind.
Wait, but it's not about distance.
This is a geography
Section.
podcast, famously.
That makes no sense. I just said.
Now, I think that might be an open and shut case. When you said New Zealand and Australia, I mean...
We got to ask some more people.
Go on then. It might
Where are
be
you from, sir?
I'm from Australia as well.
Hey, do we have to go through cities now?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, where's the other bloke from then?
I am also from Australia.
Oh!
We have 3 Australians.
All the way from Australia. Oh, 3 Aussies and somebody from New Zealand.
There's one more.
Oh, didn't even notice all the way over.
Say the space station, you'll win.
Where are you from?
I'm from Hong Kong.
From Hong Kong.
Way.
That is powerful as
Wait,
well.
but Australia is so far south. Is it not farther than Hong Kong, even though it's not as far to the west?
I would say just thank you for coming out. we realized that we weren't ready for this, but I appreciate it. Yeah, let's get a round of applause for you. Hey, that's sick. Well, I hope you've had a lovely time in Toronto so far with the games and stuff. Please feel free to sit back down as well. I don't want to standing the entire time. But I also wanted to do a quick check over. Now, here at Plat Chat, we know that we have the smartest people. Only the most intellectual fans and only the best fans like at Valorant as well, the highest quality. So, could I get a show of hands for people who are the holding up the foundation, the pillar of the player base, the golds and below? Yes, yes, the people.
What? No, not anymore. Not anymore.
All right. So what's the next good division? Let's do Ascendant down to Plat. So if you're between Ascendant and Plat, oh, that might
Josh,
be.
put your hand up. You are
Josh.
washed, buddy.
I am washed. I'm washed as all hell. I'm washed as all hell. All right. And now the true intellectuals. Where are you? Where are the Immortal Plus players? We've got one out here, a couple scattered around. Ravish,
Please put your hand down, man.
And now, who lied? Yeah, I knew there'd be a few. All right, well, that's given you a good idea of the demographics. If you're at home, I hope you were raising the hands up there as well.
We should add that like NBA like COVID lockdown screen with like webcams on the back for all the people at home. That'd be crazy.
I think a good way to get started is to talk about how horrendously we predicted this tournament
Oh, God.
go.
Consistently, actually, because like T1 was 8th, and now Wolves is 12th, and here we are.
Yeah, I mean, TMV has said on his stream that Wolves were shit when they played in China.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's a little harsh, but I think
Oh, that's bad.
Oh, BLG was worse.
He got
Damn.
3 out of 4 in the top 4.
3 out of the top 4, yeah, I mean, also 3 out of the 4 people are not here. They're hiding.
MV had to beg you to put Wolves 11th.
Yeah, he did. He had to use his, like, you know, his
Hands.
one time only in order to get Wolves into 11th place.
Oh,
And they might win.
The thing that's really killing me is MIBR 9. Because that felt low at the time, and it feels way too high now.
Yeah, that was something special. I mean, XLG, I guess we were correct, but like they didn't
Are we?
play like
Were
an
we?
8th place team. Well, no, because they just got straight into playoffs, didn't they? So they didn't get a chance to
Yeah.
get knocked out in the Swiss stage.
What about RRQ?
I mean, we were fairly high up on the Pacific teams. I remember us saying anyone from 1 to 7 could win the tournament. Unfortunately, we didn't extend that down to 11th. But yeah, it's not great. Did we have any other heinous takes, Kurt, from like top players?
Yeah, you're skipping the Heretics part, I think.
The Heretics
You
part?
pushed Heretics into third basically by
yeah.
yourself.
Wait, Josh, who did you have winning this event again? I'm forgetting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Who did you have winning?
G2, I reckon. I think it was G2. I can't. Should we have a look at some of the bold predictions then, Kurt? Who were the bold predictions? Because I do remember we picked a different team for everybody. So everyone that was on the show picked a different squad that they thought was going to be able to win. So
Well, 3 of them were right, but or I guess 2, but
well, yeah, not 3. Gen.G's already out.
Gen.G was a good shout. They kind of got like
They looked like the best
until-
team of the tournament up
Yeah.
until they lost in. I mean, we'll talk about that later, but that was crazy. Heretics though looked.
they looked.
They were looking.
They looked at the enemy. They looked at the enemy.
they looked.
They looked
Nothing
at the
else.
enemy and died. Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yeah. No, that was a heinous take. But Kurt beats us if we don't make it bold. So I had to make it bold.
I would never assault you, Josh. At least not physically.
So obviously that was heinous, and we'll get to talking about Team
We have
Heretics.
2 out of the top 4 teams.
Yeah?
Like, not that bad.
Yeah? You say we.
Well, me and
Yeah.
CMV are like really much alike in dignity.
The final could be Wolves G2, and it might tear him apart. Which would he rather be, correct or famous? All right, where was the... I want to roast the community, though, Kurt. I don't know if you have that one, but the community ranked Aspas as the #1 player with 38,000
I want to do something quick. For you in attendance here, if you voted in that poll and you had Aspas as your #1 player, I want you to stand up. Stand up. Be honest. We'll know if you're lying.
And you know what? More of you are lying. I know you are. But also, you know what? Isn't it like, this is what sucks about predictions. You get to see it here firsthand. That was a good pred, okay?
Good job, guys.
That was...
You can sit down. Take a bow.
You get points for the working out, okay? You got the answer wrong, but you got there in the right way. But yeah, you're stupid and dumb. All of you. So unlucky. Yeah. Should we talk about MIBR?
Maybe we should.
No.
It was the worst tournament performance of any team.
Which, Josh, let me hold you there. It's incredible that we've had both of the worst tournament performances this year.
Yeah.
With Trace at Masters Bangkok, and somehow their record of what?
22.
22 rounds.
They only got 22 rounds. That was Trace. And then, holy, in comes Aspas to just dunk on that record. He smashes records. But this one is crazy. How does this happen? That's an open question to you lot.
Oh.
How does...
Yeah, so at the press conference, I was going to ask Aspas what happened, but
What happened?
didn't show up for some reason. I don't know what was going on there.
Tough. That's tough.
Dude, when a team relies on a star that heavily, and like, you know, LeBron shows up to the court in a sleeping bag and just lies down, what happens, you know? Like,
But they were
tough.
looking good. The crazy thing is that the whole, I think, beginning of MIBR, it was Aspas, and then everybody else kind of like, okay, they're kind of finding their way. Towards the end, they look really good. And then,
Wait, what's crazy about this is that somehow XLG have got in the middle of them. They had a lock on the bottom ratings. They absolutely had that shit down. And somehow MIDI, Coconut, and Viva have just wrestled their way in.
but the thing is, like, MIBR was still in the same flavor, right? It was like, instead of strawberry ice cream, strawberry sorbet, because out of the 4 there's 1 missing. If you go, like, if you just flip this all the way through, they still had a star, right? Luca showed up.
Yeah.
And Verno was popping, man. Verno was popping.
Yeah, I felt so bad for Verno.
Yeah.
I really did. Yeah, can you order by rating the other way around? He might still be like a top 20 player or something. Click the rating button again, would you, Kurt? And it just goes top to bottom. Oh, he's top
He's top 5. He's top 5.
That is diabolical.
So what's MIBR's excuse?
I mean, yeah, made in America is what they're going to have to call that team. That's diabolical. Dan, as the representative of kind of LATAM, Brazil,
Right.
etc., because we never have an actual Brazilian person on the show.
yeah, at this point, I do.
Could you
Brazil.
apologize kind of to us for what we had to watch?
Wait. No,
Colombian.
No, I don't think I'll do that. I don't think look, who was gonna think out of all the players that could underperform, it was gonna be Aspas?
Truth.
And
Bren.
in that way,
Bren. He actually put Aspas on his fantasy team. Bren.
Oh, and by the way, Aspas was his IGL, so he got double points, and that counts for negative points too.
Yeah, he got
Jesus.
-2 points for Aspas, and then he thought, no, don't worry, I'll get it. I'll pick Gen.G for the next one. And then RRQ whistled their way down the toilet hole
I
as well.
think was another great choice.
A great choice, a great choice. Now, I'm going to flip over, though, and talk about the other team that played historically badly? Because I think you said it on the desk, Mimi, that even though MIBR had the worst performance of any team ever, they still weren't the most disappointing team at the event.
Yeah.
So who was?
The Heretics. Heretics was far and away the most disappointing team at this event because they had like real potential to do well, and you thought they would win. A lot of other people thought they could as well, and then they show up, they lose 13-1 to PaperX. I don't even know how to like quantify how bad their performance was.
Okay. Now, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to cope like you've never seen a man cope before. The deeper we get through this tournament, look at the teams they lost to. They're both in the upper bracket final. They're both guaranteed top 3 teams. Heretics, what's the stat? They only lose to the like number 1, number 3 seed.
Yes.
So that is a number 4 seed team that you're looking at right there. Better than Sentinels, folks. Better than Sentinels.
You thought they would win the tournament. Yes, they lost to 2 great teams. They didn't win a map. They did not get double-digit rounds in more than 1 game. They didn't just lose. They crumbled completely. I don't care how good the opposition was because the way they played was just so bad.
Worse than MIBR, though. I mean, they still had it. Like
More disappointing. I never said worse. I never said worse.
Was the question disappointing or worse?
No, it was disappointing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I think Heretics, and I said this a couple tournaments ago, they're like, so they're the past of PaperX. So whatever PaperX does is like Heretics is following by like 2 years.
Okay.
Right? So you had tournaments where PaperX, it was like, oh, they're so close, they almost won. It's okay, they got the next one. Okay, it's okay, they got the next one. Until you don't have expectations. For example, this tournament, I feel like people were not even expecting PaperX to make it.
I wasn't.
And now they're going on a run, right?
Yeah.
So for Heretics, it's a bit of the same. People are like, this is their tournament. This is their tournament. They get second every single time. People are going to lower expectations, and then they're going to come back.
Now, does that mean that Heretics should be rooting for PaperX to win so that they can think, oh, well, in
2027, they got that.
2027, don't worry, we'll win when we're in, I don't know, VCT Lagos or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, well, then there you have it. I suppose EMEA is now rooting for PaperX instead of FNATIC. Should we move on to one of the other teams? Let's talk Liquid.
Yeah. Ooh.
I want to talk Liquid for a bit because I was rooting for them at this tournament. I think it sucked that they weren't able to play with Nats at the start, and Penny popped off, but they had to play... Yeah, Penny!
Yeah.
Is that because he's Canadian or you're just big Penny fan?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. No, I mean, I was just checking. Jonah P!
Woo! Another.
What, sorry?
Another one.
Other one?
Choose another one. Another Canadian.
There's only 2.
I was going to say there's only 2 Canadian
I was
players.
just saying general Canadian player.
Just general Canadian players.
No.
Tens. It's too
Who said
easy.
John
Too
Cutie?
easy, unfortunately. Huh?
Who said John Cutie? He's Moroccan, dude. Yeah, he went to university. I don't
Dual
think he even
citizenship.
finished his degree.
Okay, don't roast people for not finishing their degree. Hello? Feeling personally attacked out here.
I didn't even know.
Sorry, let's talk Liquid. So they played some batshit comps. They played some crazy stuff because they weren't able to play with Nats in the first game. And then I actually thought, like, they put on a blinder of a game against PaperX. Like, that was sick to watch, that comeback. Can you imagine if PaperX had not even made it out of Swiss because this had been a real comeback?
They shouldn't have.
Yeah, that's true.
You cannot go up 11-1 and win 12-14 and me feel any positive emotion about your team. It's...
Well, they were literally about to win, but Plat like had way too much pressure. If you guys remember the shot, like C waterfall and like facing the back of the man.
He played the rest of that clutch like perfectly too to get it into the 1v1, and that's just The jump peak is going to haunt him.
It was weird though, because he looked like he wanted to go for the wrap through water because it was planted for CT. It wasn't planted for him at waterfall, and I think he just missed. Like, I don't know. It looked like he wasn't sure he had the timing to full wrap, and then he got panicked when Forsaken just the back of his head.
There was a whole like argument of like people online, I think on VLR or Reddit, saying why did he ult like before the plant? That was so stupid. But he got info. There was no one like main, and then he knew it'd either be waterfall or CT. Went waterfall, cleared it. Know it was CT, but I don't think expected Forsaken to be there that fast. So
are you reading VLR?
I'm reading everything, bro. I'm like at the press room just waiting for games to end. Like every sort. I hear your thoughts in the crowd.
But
yes, no, fuck you.
What do you learn on VLR, Shia?
Just the people's opinions. I've been like asking people in the crowd what they think. Disastrous things, but just been trying to educate everyone on the game. Huh?
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you might not know because you got caught up by the Toronto traffic, but we have actually polled people as they came in.
Yeah.
To get their prediction on who the MVP of the tournament's going to be.
Okay.
And who the winning team is going to be as well. So, yeah, we've got a box. I mean, we can't tot it up like right now, but during the break in the middle, we're going to find out what the people think. And we're going to have it down in writing. And we are going to do handwriting analysis to find out who wrote what. Yeah, but I liked Liquid. I was down for this run. And then it got killed by the train.
Yeah.
Like so many other beautiful things. Why wooing train deaths is crazy.
He's actually the guy who got HS2 killed in the UK. Voted for the tour.
Niche
Two people that got that joke will love it.
The guy who flew in from London's like, yeah, UK reference, HS2. You're just a train foamer. Okay. Let's go. Well, actually, give me the opinion on Liquid. Are they going to be good when they get going afterwards? And what should they be doing with Penny? Because they signed Penny not as an emergency sub. They actually signed him like before the tournament. That's why they were able to play with him once Nats was still there.
Have you seen Batman Forever? The movie?
Which one is that?
Jim Carrey as a Riddler?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. A long time ago.
You guys seen Batman Forever in general? Yeah? Nice.
I'm not going to lie. I heard Jim Carrey is the Rizzler. Makes no sense to me.
There's that whole moment in the end where like he makes Batman choose between Robin and his lover. So like I feel like every team has to prep for Serial or Penny or like a 6-man roster. It's like a mystery. It's a riddle as to what's Liquid gonna play. Keep Penny on the roster for the whole season. Never play him. Cinema.
That's horrendous.
That's a great idea because then you don't have a 6-man roster. There's never been a successful 6-man roster in Valorant, and it was okay this tournament. But T1. Oh, you're. But they had a substitute player for the beginning of the event, who then they subbed it out. They were trolling.
Well, you think T1 was a successful 6-person roster?
Yeah. Yeah.
They lost the first 2 with Carpe and then put Sylvan in and won the rest.
That is
6 men.
Yes.
I mean, that is literally 6 people. But that would imply the best strategy for Liquid is to run Serial, lose a few, and then replace him permanently with Penny.
saying.
Now, this Canadian crowd is going crazy, but they don't fuck with Serial like that. I don't know. That's tragic. That's tragic. Let's touch on some of the other disappointing teams as well.
And there was a lot of them.
Yeah, there were. This was kind of the tournament of plank. Like, teams just came and they planked. BiliBili.
Part of the reason was there were so many like upsets in the region, like RRQ winning Pacific, XLG winning in China. You had a lot of like rookie teams who were coming in, having done really well in their region and on just kind of a crazy run. And then it's like, boom, it's your first global. Boom, it's a complete meta shift. And then they just show up and are flat.
I think the meta shift and the time off has definitely contributed to how unstable the like results of stage 1 mapping onto the results of Toronto has been.
I think it's bigger than that. I think the timing is more than the meta shift. Like for the European teams, like in these conferences, they've only been complaining on every loss about prep time. Like how the fact that they had no time to do anything. FNATIC was trapped in a hotel for 2 weeks. Like not getting any reps to play. That was a big thing that.
Why?
Trapped in a hotel.
No, as in like they were just forced into like a scrim zone, right? They never got reps on stage for the first 2 weeks, and they also
Right.
didn't get the plan. So it was
Right.
you know,
Oh, so they're like mad about getting a bye.
yeah, pretty much. Oh, look, that's the other thing too. Like their first seed conundrum
first seed.
plus,
Yeah, I do think getting
Plus
the bye
no
is
prep.
so bad for a rookie team.
unless you win, and then
Yeah. I mean, but it was even the rookie teams. It affected like FNATIC lost, for example. They're not a rookie team. They're about as far away as you could get from being
Sure.
a rookie.
Yeah, it affects every team for sure.
Yeah.
And that's.
But also, every 1 seed lost, Josh.
Yes, but it's also a really small sample size. I mean, when you add it to Shanghai, it gets a bit bigger. But yeah, did you see what Leo posted?
No.
He was like, "We're pretty fine." He was like, "Yeah, whatever." Like the teams are winning at a decent level. Like it's not like all of the first seeds lost immediately afterwards as well. So I think he was looking at the bracket as a whole, and he was like, "It's it's okay." Anyway, let's talk BiliBili. Right? They got their win over Liquid, but it was when Liquid had to play with their sub.
Yeah.
Apart from that, they kind of just went home. Should we be putting more respect on all of the Chinese teams or just Wolves? Okay.
what do you think?
Dan, do you respect China as a nation? As a region, sorry, as a region.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, I got confused there for a moment and tried to cancel your whole career.
Yeah.
Do you think, though, that... All right, so the two arguments here. One is only one of the Chinese teams actually looks good. The BiliBili only beat a team that was using a sub, and XLG kind of got destroyed. But counterpoint to that would be that it's a brand new Chinese team that's doing really well, showing that you should always think one of them might be able to do something crazy. And the other one is XLG just had the worst possible scenario. Like they had to pick up a sub last minute. They didn't speak English, so Raga can't like come for initiator util. So, I mean, that is high key, how to troll your entire region, get the player kicked right before Toronto.
Yeah, I think the other big issue is that both of the two Chinese teams besides Wolves were like giga duelist carry teams. Like YZ in China was ridiculous for BLG. It was the same for Raga. And they were both like big double initiator abusers. And then that got nerfed. They didn't have the same amount of use. You look at like the BiliBili games, or sorry, rather the
XLG?
The XLG games, and like Raga's just like running in on Neon, and there's like not enough util behind him. He dies, and then the rest of the team is just cooked. So I think the meta change, meaning teams had to play slower, play more double smokes, kind of cooked both the CN teams, besides Wolves, who are great at that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I also think that's why RRQ got nerfed too.
Yep.
Because they're a very, like, throw the initiator utility for Gen.G to go crazy, and that's not the meta anymore.
You could argue that MIBR, it was the same thing, no?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, very duelist-heavy oriented teams, but where the initiators were setting them up super well. But I don't know, is that the same with MIBR?
Yeah, because like Osbos needed that, didn't have it, couldn't find it himself. Vernal like cleaned up every round a little bit to get his KDA up.
Yeah.
Following in the
Wait, is this a new narrative? Verno is now the stats player, not
Could be
Aspas.
this. Dude, his stats look good. He's still top 5. Like,
Yeah.
in the least rounds won, top 5 on rating is insanity.
Do you, of those three teams then that we're talking about, BiliBili, XLG, RRQ, that had disappointing performances, do you feel differently about any of them? Like, do you feel like, oh no, they're going to be fine, just give them a bit of time? Or like, what? Because RRQ probably had the highest expectations of those three. So is it more worrying for them, or are they going to fix their shit? What's going on?
Well, I just think it's crazy because it's not even, we changed the Tejo meta, but it's not like we're doing something completely new, right? A lot of the teams are just going back to like the old compositions that people used to play. So maybe given a bit more time for the teams that never got to do that, 1 year ago or something. But I think it might be that's not the problem. There's a lot more for sure.
I've seen some things in the streets of MIBR.
The streets?
Dude, there's like an amalgamation of like Radimus Prime people in the... I'm going to just reference all press conferences every time I speak because that's all I've done so far. But like, they can see who's scrimming with who. Some scrims without Osbos. Some scrims without Verno. it's like, what is going on that team post, like, what's happening now?
I got a question,
Not kicking
though.
ass pass. They're not kicking ass.
I'm just saying, that's what I've been told. That's what I've
but-
seen literally on the downstairs
But why?
10 minutes that way.
Why are they even scrimming? Like immediately after getting eliminated from a tournament, you're tilted as hell. You just put up the worst possible performance. If you're going to take a break at any point in the calendar for your own mental, it would be right now.
Yeah,
They don't have any tournament to prep for up until they return back to stage 2, which is in
Also,
a month.
You just know that this is the best kind of scrims that you can get with international teams.
Yeah, but if your mental's in the soup,
Well,
like,
maybe it's
what
not.
are they-
Maybe they just
Maybe their mental isn't in the soup. Oh, maybe they had dinner reservations and that's why they didn't turn up to the press conference.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Just going to eat the fine for this one because listen, we've really got to go to Buddy Ali's and pick up a pizza.
That's exactly what happened. How did you know?
Dan's there.
It's
snacking
over
on a
in
pi-
19 rounds. I mean, like, even if you're, it's just done. Rip the Band-Aid off. The team is cooked. Whatever. You reset. You scrim. I don't know. I don't believe that that's the case.
They
though.
didn't have a lot of time to prep.
I don't think they should personally like switch anything up. I think if we're talking about switching things up, Heretics might be a good team to talk about as to what changes you would make.
Wait, what are you saying? Roster changes?
Yeah,
On Heretics?
yeah. If your goal is to win,
You see, it's just like PaperX. It's just like PaperX 2 years ago. People were like talking about changes.
Yeah, and they should
Same.
have.
Gonna
They
change.
should have. I was right when I said cut Gen and Forsaken, okay? They would have won the tournament already if they'd done that. No, that was obviously looks pretty bad in hindsight, doesn't it? I think some could argue looked bad at the time, but yeah. What? So, do you really think that?
It's like the hot thing to think right now. Out of all the things you could think,
You're allowed to think other things that the other people are not telling you to think.
what else is there to think?
That they'll be fine.
Okay.
No, think different. Think unique thoughts. Actual ChatGPT looking ass just responding with my prompt. Yes, what an excellent discussion point. You've really hit the nuance there.
Oh man.
If there's a team that I think is going to crash and burn and not come back, it's XLG. I don't know. I was so disappointed compared to how they played in China, how they played in this tournament. And obviously they did have a sub, but no one but the other 3 players, besides the guys that we knew were going to be good, were going to like have a solid performance, just did not show up at all. And
Okay, but counterpoint, it's really easy to brush off because you're like, all right, well, MIDI wasn't actually supposed to be part.
sure.
And so we'll just when we go back, we'll just pick up, like, we'll have a proper trialing process.
Pick up Simon.
Simon.
Okay, again, we talked about this at the time, but the reason they cut YOU was because the entire community forced them to, essentially, but because he'd done stuff years and years ago that they weren't happy about.
I'm
so
sure the
going
EDC
for
fans
Simon,
would love it if they picked up their beloved Simon.
the guy that you saw pierce the atmosphere and crash and burn, taking down everyone he possibly could with him apart from his own personal stream fans. Oh yeah, that's a good PR move.
Rarga needs an initiator bot, and there is no one other than Simon in the region that I can think of right now when I can only think of one player that,
Yeah, I mean,
that can fill that role perfectly.
No, he would fill the role perfectly. You're right. But I assume other people exist and we just don't know them. Right? Like, I think there's probably other good players in China and we just don't
Many
know.
such cases, yeah.
Yeah. I hear there's a lot of people playing Valorant in China.
I've actually heard there's a couple people that live in China too.
It's just a couple.
Couple million. It's great. I've heard they're actually the biggest country. Know that.
But gross population is not relevant because you can have countries with huge amounts of people living in them and not many people play Valorant. So just picking a random bloke off the street would not be a good idea.
But what if he's goated on the sticks?
Yeah, it might be. What if he's goated on the phone? Valorant Mobile's about to release. Maybe who's the first player that we see who starts in Valorant Mobile? And what? Do you have a tick? What are you talking about? 10? The audience just said 10s like it was uncontrollable. What do you mean? He didn't start on Valorant Mobile. I've watched his career. He started on PC.
Do you know a mobile pro in any other esport? Anybody know a mobile pro? Because I assume it's no.
Okay, but I know they exist.
Yeah, but does anyone know a mobile pro on any PUBG mobile watchers?
Or like Garena Free Fire? That's on.
Single name.
Now we're polling the wrong people here, aren't we?
And the crowd went mild.
Shows you how little of an overlap there is between certain audiences. Yeah, we all need to go and learn something, okay? That's your homework. Find a Valorant pro that's...
No.
That's how you broaden your horizons.
Yeah. All right, never mind. Let's move on. I want to talk about Gen.G. Gen.G are one of the most fun teams to talk about at the entire event. They had a roller coaster. Would you have said that they looked like the best team at the beginning?
There was, towards the beginning, there was no way that I was having high expectations for Gen.G. For me, I brought my merch for all the teams that qualified, and I have a bunch of Gen.G merch. I was like, no, there's no point.
You didn't even bring it.
I didn't. I was like, there's no way.
Why?
I just didn't have high expectations for them going on a run or getting out of the Swiss stage or doing anything.
I think that's kind of crazy. Like, well, I know that we.
I thought they were fine.
No. I'm gonna run some defense for us here as well because we put them in 7th on the power rankings. But again, we said anyone from 1 to 7 could win. So I did think there was some chance for Gen.G.
I would say I would put them 8th, 9th, maybe.
Holy!
Whoa, who would you put over them?
That's Jen's jacket, not mine.
You wearing Gen.G merch. Now, can we get a date on this, Kurt? Because
No,
is this...
I don't like the segment.
Right. June 8th.
I don't like the segment.
June
Yeah, but
8th. So this
that's
is
the story.
immediately after they started looking good.
Yeah,
You
I
pretended to be on the Gen.G bandwagon.
Well, I saw one game. One game is all it takes to convince me.
Least
I saw that and I'm like,
reactive
I
Valorant fan.
should No, I still have
watched
better
them
predictions
beat
than you.
MIBR on the 8th at 2:45.
Yes.
Right after the game. I think that picture was taken at 4 o'clock. So as soon as they finished,
The receipts.
instantly.
You see this against MIBR, thinking MIBR are as good as they were before? Aren't you impressed? I was impressed. I'm like, Jen, where's your jacket? Let me put it on immediately.
I mean, it was impressive. It was impressive. But then when you saw what MIBR did afterwards, and you saw that they were a corpse.
And then they went against
What, sorry?
PaperX.
Yeah, no, they did. They look good. This is why I was setting you up, is because I really do think that they looked fantastic. I think right before the Wolves game, they would have been my favorites to win. I think that's what Paperthin and Achilles were saying as well, right?
They're one of the only teams that were actually like really fun to watch. Like they were willing to get aggressive. They were willing to take fights. And I feel like a lot of the teams that we have, maybe not right now, but like a team like FNATIC, that is the complete opposite. They're so slow. They're so methodical. And people want to see kind of what Gen.G were doing, what Wolves were doing against them. So
The neon op.
yeah,
The
just-
neon op is
even.
beautiful. It's beautiful to watch. He takes a shot and then he just goes like, yeah. He just slides away. Oh, no, he doesn't even slide though,
No, he
because
just
he's not
runs
using
away.
the ability. He just runs. a
In
little
my
bit to
opinion,
the side.
Texture, like coming out of the Teo meta, was the duelist player who adapted best to not having constant double initiator support. Because when he was at his peak, when they were winning tournaments, it was like, you know, back in the day, he came up in Korean Valorant where it was like constantly double smokes, just a Sova. That's all the support you have to work with. And he was so good in that. One recon dart, and he's getting so many entries on the site diving in. On defense, he barely needs any help, but like a grav net to get into main and get posted with the op. It was ridiculous how good he was with so little support that like even in their loss, I still feel like he was like a top 3 most impressive individual player of the tournament.
We did ask people for the MVP for the event. Now, most people are going to go for somebody that isn't eliminated already. But there were some people who said, can I pick them from a team that's already out?
Someone said Carpe, I know that.
That one guy.
There might have been more.
Right. Well, we might have to scrap that one. That whole box might just be full of carpe.
face.
Yeah. But yeah, I think, dude, I think Texture played a great game, and I think part of it might be because they were already playing quite a lot of double smoke stuff. On Haven, for example, they were already playing Omen Viper compositions, and that's where the meta trended, I think. I mean, we haven't seen a full tournament even yet, but that's what it looks like. So, yeah, I would imagine so. But All right, let's dial in on the actual. Go on.
Are we still talking Gen.G?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to say that, like, I think everyone else that needed to show up did. Ash, how he played in Pacific compared to how he
Oh my
stepped up in
God.
this tournament, he looked like a different player.
Where is he on the ratings?
Yeah.
He's got to be higher than 1. Where are you? No, that's
Ashies.
Inside crashes.
Yeah, he sneaks in at a 1.02, which I think he was definitely the lowest impact player on the team, like during their stage 1 run, I think, and he looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, he was good. Foxy was better as well. Like
Foxy was kind of farming. You know, Lakia is looking for a team.
Yep.
Ash or Lakia?
Lakia. He's short. He's like my height.
I want
that
to
how
see
you-
Dan's like team if she was like a GM. Like,
Wait, who is your Short Kings team?
Oh, I've thought about this multiple times. So we got Lakia,
easy IGL.
Oxy, Zekin, Stacks, and I'm missing the one.
Boostio?
I mean,
Anyways,
Was that not a valid choice?
I
already got an IGL
I had
on that
thought of
team.
somebody else, but okay, Boostio, that's fine.
Okay, Boostio, all right. And then dude, I don't even know who the tall players are.
Mata, Coach Milan.
cereal.
Marta, Serial, who else? Elmer Putty's not going to play. I mean, who? Rooney's huge, actually, yeah. Who else? Mako's pretty tall, isn't he?
Yeah, he's tall.
I mean, I don't know.
Someone said Bren. I disagree.
Yeah, bro, you do not want
Put him
Bren
on
on
a
your
team.
team. You do not want Bren on your team. Let's dial back into the match, though. Could you pull up the Gen.G game against Wolves? Because I think this is where the disaster begins. They had a 9-3 half and an 8-4 half, and they lost that game 2-0. How much... Now, we're going to talk about Wolves later on, and this is one of the best Cinderella runs we've seen. Now, we've been gifted in Valorant for having a lot of good Cinderella runs, but this one's amazing. How much are you saying this is on Wolves, and how much are you saying you should never be... like, maybe you lose one of these, but you can't be losing this and the other map and then losing an 11-4 lead to G2, which we'll talk about in a sec. But what's more important, Gen.G or Wolves in terms of the outcome here?
60% choke, 40% Wolves. Is my that's what I think immediately, because with how dominant they were in the first half of literally not just these 2 games, but the other 2 games that they also choked, which we'll talk about in a second, how dominant they were, how good they were all tournament, and then how far it slipped. Like, I think Wolves winning the pistol the first couple rounds was just really nice Valorant. But I think once Gen.G felt it slipping away, they really let it snowball, and I think you have to give a lot of the credit to the loss for them.
I agree. I think if it was like, you know, any other team that's not Gen.G and this happens one time, is like I would give kind of all the credit to the other team. But for Gen.G to have this happen to them 2 times in 2 different games is just Gen.G choking.
Oh yeah, the game against FNATIC as well. Yeah. Okay, I mean, let's have a look at the next one. Gen.G against G2. Holy shit. Okay, all right. I've got it. Now, anytime a comeback like this happens, there's going to be some people who are coping that Gen.G should have won. So, if you were rooting for Gen.G, can I get a groan? And if you're rooting for G2, can I get a woo? We should have done this in Korea as well to get like unbiased opinions, I guess. But I couldn't believe this was happening as it was happening. I thought it was going to be a fake comeback, like the Liquid Paper X one from earlier. And then I think it was round 18 when we were casting it, was where Gen.G had all of their ults, and they wasted the Sova ult on A, and then I think they wasted the lockdown on, what was it, on B or
Viper's
something
pit.
as well?
Viper's
the
pit, yeah.
pit. Yes, the pit, a yellow. Oh, Kurt's got it for us to relive.
Got clips.
Oh, let's have a look at this one again. I mean, this should have been the round where it ended, I think. Oh, well, I mean, at least should have got Gen.G to 12. Because it's not like if you win this round, you're guaranteed to win, but, you know, at least you get like a fresh
Viper's
start.
Pit, Sova ult, Lockdown, all in one round, gun v gun.
Yeah.
And Texture as op.
I felt brutal for Texture as well. He's got 20 kills here. I can't remember how many he ended with, but I think it was like 22 or something. I might be wrong. We should check afterwards. But he couldn't figure out how to get, you know, the opening kills that were just dominating for them at previous times in the tournament. This Sova ult, I don't understand. And maybe... Can you roll it back a little bit? Like, did Valen throw a paranoia or something that like cooked their brains?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Wait, no, is that afterwards?
It's after he ripped it. So did he just hear the footsteps of the Omen and panic?
I mean, it does, if you're looking from Gen.G's perspective, it does feel pretty real. I mean, they throw the molly, but then...
Re-smoke?
He's already backing up, like he thinks... it's about at the same time.
Nah, yeah, it wasn't off reaction.
But honestly, yeah, G2 just kind of sold it with the molly and the pressure and the amount of players that had been seen. Munchkin was playing really committed here at Yellow
terrible,
the whole
yeah.
game.
Oh.
But that's... Yeah, scenes before disaster.
Dashes into the molly.
Yeah. So he has 21 kills at the end of this round. I mean, they saved so often as well. They were saving a ton in this comeback, which I think is very debatable as to whether or not you should be in some of these situations. I mean, we saw in Haven that G2 saved after Leaf won a 1v1. And yeah, normally I think you want to be applying pressure to the other team's economy in those spots, but they're so tough to call because, like, if you lose, you might just be completely chalked. Kurt, can you have a look at how many kills Texture ended with then? Because no,
One more.
One more after that round.
no, not even one more. He got that in the round.
Oh, yeah, the op at the end before the dash into the...
So Texture didn't get a kill in round 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 6 rounds in a row without your star player getting anything.
And it's not even the excuse of like getting first death, right? Like he only had 3 total, I think. So
Yeah.
he didn't even die a single time at first. So he had a chance to influence every round, but
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it in that round. Like, he was posted on the line. He should have had a kill with the op. He whiffs that, and then that goes into the snowball of using all the ults and letting the round go.
Yeah, that is.
They could just never retake. It doesn't matter what. And that was the problem. Like, G2 would take all that space. They would try to go for their retake. And every single round, they were losing. And it seems like that the plan around it, they clearly understood it was having Texture get the opening, get some info. But G2 are just so smart. They're going to go around. They know they're going to win it. That's what they talked about when they switched to this composition. Was like, well, obviously we can't play Taeho anymore, but we're trying to be heavy on these late rounds. So we're going with the Sage. And little things like that is just what are working so well. And I swear, only G2 can make something like that happen. I don't see any other team doing
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so you weren't willing to give credit to Wolves. But G2 are the only team that are making this happen. Now, famously, FNATIC did do something very similar.
slightly, yeah.
Right?
Not
Like,
this
yes,
FNATIC.
literally, yes.
Not this FNATIC, but yeah.
And not to Gen.G.
No, not to Gen.G, but
It just was a game that happened once.
But G2 did it before as well.
I'm getting stun locked out here. It's meaning the 11-3 comeback in the grand finals against Loud. So, like, you know, what I mean is other teams have been able to put up together big.
Other teams have come
to the
back before.
consistency that G2 does it, because they also did it in Shanghai.
Right. Did they?
They did.
Yes, that was like famously so to make top 3. The Heretics come back.
The Heretic stuff, I forget. I forget. I've put everything about Heretics out of my brain. There are 2 teams that we haven't really discussed yet, and that's Sentinels and FNATIC. Now, we can talk about FNATIC more when we discuss, the games that are coming up too. But I do want to give Sentinels some serious time because I think people are going to give them a lot of shit for only beating the Chinese teams. But again, exactly, they're the only team that beat Wolves. So
Well, like
how do you square the circle, Shayo, between they haven't beaten the most impressive group of teams, but one of those is incredibly impressive.
I would say they've actually have beaten like the most impressive group of teams, like Wolves at the very start in confidence and practice.
Like
with them.
XLG, yeah.
Yeah.
Like they were facing all these teams while they themselves were also not at 100%. So like they weren't like, if you look at these score lines, these are not free wins. Maybe the BiliBili game a little bit, but
no, the Sheila Gaming one was definitely a free win. You watch that, dude. That was like, that was rough.
yeah, but I don't think the other two were for free by any means. Like said at the start of things, I thought that against Wolves, it was an earned win because they're always a team at the very first match of every tournament. They either lose or it's horrible. It's hard to win. It's hard to warm up.
Right.
And they talked about it too, post in the press conference, that was a very difficult match. And it's nice that they got to play and not be first seed because it got them to, practice. I think Kaplan still said he would prefer to be first seed. I think in hindsight, that might be, well, now, yes or no, I don't know. But BiliBili also, I think, like, well fought. Good for them to get the reps in. And at the same time, they lost the first map. It's a 2-1.
Yeah.
Don't know how that's free. XLG, I closed my eyes. And then after that, they got knocked out. So, yeah. I think it was bound to happen with China regardless, as Mimi said, EDG didn't make it. And in general, like, although Heretics are playing, 2 years away from PRX, China, like, other than EDG, and I can think Wolves now, is playing like a year behind everyone else meta-wise and like player development-wise, in my opinion. They have
a year behind.
They have a bunch of just like really good duelist players or one really good like Sentinel player, and then the rest of the team tries to support them.
I think XLG is a good example of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
XLG, BLG, even with YZ, Vukashu on like DRG, like whatever team
I'm
RP's
pissed about
on.
the XLG one though, because I really think they could have done well if it had been the previous meta and they'd been playing with YOU. I really think that they were playing some good Valorant. But
the craziest part is we never get to test this meta again because 2 maps are leaving. We're getting Bind back in, and like that's going to change everything. Like it's
true.
wild.
Can you pull up the Paper X game, Kurt?
Oh, here we go.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
Click through the maps.
What's your point?
My point is, what happened here?
I mean, this one was a great game.
Yeah, Sunset was really
This Sunset was fun to watch. The first one was a little brutal. Yeah.
The split to me felt like I was watching the Sentinels that crashed out of Bangkok. They played a lot of retake on their defensive side, and every time they were just not ready for the off angles the Paper X players were playing in their post plants. It's like every round Paper X's post plant is Jing, and it's gonna be like something standing out in the open in some weird position and just cooking you. And they were never trading. They started to look tilted, and then that game was just really bad. But I don't really want to hold that too far against Sen, because I think sometimes you just have a bad start, you get Paper X'd, and they nearly brought this series back.
Yeah. No, that's cope.
Well,
but that's...
one thing,
Not like this.
God damn. Dude, that smoke is so nice.
so smart.
Oh, good. It hurts.
I asked Jing after this kind of what happened in Sunset, knowing that Sentinels are really good on Sunset. And then he said, yeah, we've only been able to scrim this 2 times. We were kind of nervous because this is Padman kind of getting adjusted to a new role. Obviously, we're not used to playing Deva in the stage as well, so we're kind of trying to figure it out, and we just kind of did it on the fly.
Sure.
Just dig the knife in, give it a twist. There's one of the things I've been looking at a lot more recently, because I did a video about T1 and how they won in Bangkok. And one of the things about that I realized when I was going through that is that they played the meta completely differently to everybody else. Not just in terms of the duelists that they were picking, but they were also playing to deny people getting through the choke points a lot. And so it ended up with them playing, they just weren't playing for retake very often. So I was looking at this event as well, And Sentinels, G2, FNATIC, they're playing for retake about 70% of the time. So they let their opponents plant on them about 70% of the rounds, which is a large amount of the time to let your opponents get in and plant. PaperX are only letting their opponents plant 40% of the rounds, which is crazy. Like if you're playing against these guys, they are going to be like running at you in the choke points. And that's even more than what T1 were doing. So I think that style, it can really catch people off, especially if the players have got good reads on like where you're going on the attack. You just get stuffed in choke points. It's tough to deal with.
What you were saying in your video too, with like how they were using like smokes to flood sites a lot of times. I think Forsaken's done a really good job with that this event as well, because like, I mean, first of all, he's a guy who's playing like 8 trillion different roles. But when he's on smokes, even in that last round, he's always throwing really good like anchor smokes for his teammates to get in, and not just throwing like the default ones. Just sometimes it looks really random, but it works really well to like create this chaos. Raze is diving into a smoke, and PaperX is just better than any other team at the event at just playing around random utility like that and still fighting off each other.
Yeah, I mean, you've been listening to the press conference and you've been interviewing people as well, but I'm interested to know what the team thinks made the difference for this PaperX run. I will talk about PaperX later on, but I just wanted to ponder on this because a lot of people, they changed out Mindfreak for Patman. So from the outside, that's the easiest thing you look at and you just say, it must be something that Patman is doing. But when you change one player, often a lot of other pieces can move around. Like maybe the calling structure feels a bit different. Maybe, you know, they just needed a refresher and a different feel, or maybe Mini pulling out some coaching for them or something. But
yeah, there's a couple of things that they've said. So one thing for this specific game, for example, when I asked, it was not only them kind of adjusting to the composition as they go, but also they said Alex asked Jing to call a lot more, to be comfortable microing players when he had to, because they were not used to the things that they were running. And then I also asked about kind of what the coaches are able to bring. And one of the things was Alex is always kind of doing the same thing, the fundamental way that they're going to play the game, the compositions. Mindfreak has been helping a lot, has been helping Forsaken a lot with smokes specifically, because it's the role that he played for a long time. So he was saying the smoke, I can't remember what he said, the smoke and split on B main, that was something that Mindfreak taught him that he had no idea that he could do. And then for Mini, it's more fixing mistakes.
Is Mindfreak actually like an assistant coach?
Yes.
Yes.
Like in all, like, okay, let's think about it this way, right? Let's take 2 worlds. One world where it's arm normal person, and another world where it's mind freak, okay? On each team.
Sorry, what was
as the assistant coach? As the assistant coach.
Perfect. So I know the word.
Arm normal person is the assistant coach for PRX in World A, and Mind Freak is the assistant coach for PRX in our world, World B.
Right.
It's fine being B sometimes. You don't always have to be A. Okay. So for arm normal person, right, who's not reverse Mind Freak, basically.
What words are you saying on the first one?
The opposite of mind, which is arm in my head, I guess.
that's crazy.
Arm.
Just insane.
And then the opposite of freak, which is normal person.
Normal person.
Yeah, that's the guy's gamer tag.
Okay, that's cool. I'm in there. Finish the
We're in
analogy.
there. Cool.
Yep.
So the assistant coach sometimes says a lot, and the players don't absorb it. Think of like a 75% filled sponge of gameplay being hit with 50% more of information. The sponge can only take up to 100. That's what arm normal person does. Really gets in those dishes. You feel me? And the players don't retain all of it. Mind Freak specifically, because I got to talk to the team a little bit and asked about what he offers. It's like very specific set strats that he like caters and says this is a good idea for the team. And the teams, as they played with him, fully commit to that set strat. And it's not like, here's a whole playbook, learn the whole playbook. It's, here's one cool thing, here's another cool thing. Little sponge, take a little bit of drops.
Right.
Absolutely.
Sometimes
Makes perfect sense, yeah.
Sometimes I think your analogies don't help the points that you're making.
But I'm just saying, in those worlds, would you rather like?
No, I'd rather have Mind Freak than arm normal
And
person.
is he doing an assistant coach's job?
No, I mean the problem is the name of your the name of your alternate dimension Mind Freak sounds like the Second Amendment. Just normal person. Sounds like somebody just. Anyway. We were supposed to be talking about Sentinels. I led us down the wrong path. This team, should they be happy with their performance? Let's just finish on that for Sen.
No.
No?
If I'm Sen, I wanted to be like top 4. I wanted to be at least like for their fantasy of rivalry, which I think doesn't exist. They're just trying to little bro themselves in there. They want to be ahead of G2, right? Like, look at the record. Like G2's been popping on these guys 24/7. Anyways, with the player quality they have, with how good Narrate kind of like, leveled up, I think, in this tournament as well and got comfortable on his role past like Teo and everything.
Yeah.
I would say at least top 4 and like the best in America's run all the way through. Because like, dude, Bang as well, I think is like probably the best controller in North America. Like that's a take, but one you could like stamp down on at least statistically. Like Valorant, you could say might have more value and stuff, but this team I feel like should have gone further in this tournament 100%.
Okay.
No joy unless you win.
Yeah. Let's talk FNATIC. Let's discuss them a little bit in terms of just what they've done so far. The Sentinels FNATIC game, sick. The FNATIC RRQ game, sick. I feel like they've been playing some banger matches over the course of this event. But the problem is they're so slow on the attack side.
Last 10 seconds.
Boaster, get a move on, please. Man, they're slow.
My favorite thing to watch, though, this event is the way that Boaster is playing to, like, the mosh pit behind him. Because we've had events with, like, good crowds before, but never one where the fans are literally right there watching the players' PCs, not the thing.
They're closer than our fans are right now, and I could reach out and flick your nose. He's risen me. Hold on. He just gave me a wink, and I don't know how to feel. All right. Yeah, they are. I mean, Shayo, do you remember what Boaster pulled off? What was he doing?
A certain dance move that.
Oh, the gnarly dance. I'm learning that dance right now.
I mean, no, but if you wanted to recreate that, feel free.
I'm good for the moment.
No, I was just meaning, sometimes people come up and they're like, well, where's Shayo from?
No, it was in the game.
Yeah, but I have no idea where that was for Kurt to find the clip. But he did.
Oh, yes, that one.
He did dance on them.
The take the L.
He did the take the
So
L.
where is that from?
Now, you're an expert, previous Fortnite commentator.
Where's that from, guys? 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So what do you think about Peterbot's rise on the North American server of Fortnite? Now that we switched over to a Fortnite podcast. This is the, what's the highest rank in Fortnite?
I think they should be dropping into Tomato Town. Yeah. I know what words I'm saying.
Tomato Town.
Tomato Town.
Hello. Let's go down to Tomato Town.
Thank you, Mr. B.
Yeah, that British guy loves that. Oh, no. Okay. FNATIC, though. Banger games. How would you rate them so far?
What do you mean?
Out of...
I mean, in
4.
terms of...
out of 5.
The hell are you talking about?
4.
They lost to one of the teams that isn't here, so they didn't get knocked down to the lower bracket by somebody that they're going to meet again.
Sure, but it was by Gen.G when Gen.G was playing really good. My biggest worry about FNATIC is I think their map pool got a little exposed with having a permaban in Pearl and having to come from the lower bracket, and also evidently not being very good at Sunset. They've lost it twice now. Both times it looked pretty rough. That I worry that their map pool is not as deep as I might have thought it was initially, and how well they can do in the BO5s.
Counterpoint to that, though, Ascent has historically been a bad map for FNATIC.
And they did fix that.
And they are cooking on
The
it.
chamber comp,
On the
love
attack,
it.
too.
Yeah. When I saw the FNATIC versus Sen map pool, I was like, oh, Sen win. I get to go home early today. This is kind of crazy. And then,
and then
bada bing, bada boom.
When they get to the agent select and Zekken's on Waylay and they're playing against this. I mean, I assumed that they were running the Tejo to try to put pressure on the Sentinel util, because you can break the Thorns, it's good against a chamber, you put one like where his teleport is and it's annoying to deal with. I mean, maybe I just missed it, but I didn't see them doing that very much from what I could tell. But frankly, it was like already over at the half. It
I
felt
mean, the
like.
issue is just the defensive side, where I think it's a lot harder to get that value with the Teo, because that's where not having refreshables is so brutal. Like, you only have Teo drone to re-clear space, and you don't want to waste your missiles early. And like you were molding about, FNATIC waits still 10 seconds every time. And while they're waiting, while they're just defaulting, Alpha is getting so much work done. What are his first kill stats on Attack of Ascent? Because I think it was insane.
Yeah, if you go to all maps and then, is that what you mean?
I just mean
on
Ascent.
Ascent?
Oh, you
Can
just mean
scroll down,
Ascent,
Kurt?
sorry.
2 or 3.
Yeah, it's not going to be a large amount.
Okay.
Insane.
But I mean, if
And
you,
he's 2 and 2.
yeah, if you look at all time or something like that, but the impact he was getting was ridiculous. And Crashies felt like he was taking it personally, like he would, you know, up against his ex, not even his ex, but like his former region. Yeah,
This round was insane.
yeah, this is a nasty one.
There was a narrative there. Like, Sen, they lost NRG, lost 2-0 when they were on their big backslide, stage 2 last year, that led up to the choke you all remember for NRG to die.
Yeah, it's a sick redemption for Crashies because I think a lot of people were ready to write him off in a similar way to.
He literally didn't have a
Victor
tier 1
Ye.
North American offer. He almost joined a tier 2 team until
that's
FNATIC
mad.
offered him a contract.
I think that is mad. I'm surprised that he didn't get any tier 1 offers because I think he has had a very good career and was already probably better than some of the other initiated players.
I'm so glad to know that the general managers of tier 1 teams that have contracts in their hands and like thousands of dollars to spend are just as recency biased as we are.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I thought you were gonna say worse than we are, but yeah, just as bad as we are. All right, we're gonna take a break soon, so that people can get food and drinks and stuff like that. But before then, we wanted to give it an opportunity for you guys to ask us questions, if you had any. Now, Kurt is going to run around to people, so you have to attract
How many questions?
Kurt's attention.
Or can I get them all?
Well, here's the thing. I think I've scheduled about 20 minutes because I figured that we would probably have quite a lot of people who wanted to ask questions. So we can go for a while.
All right, I'll wander. I'll work my way around.
I think just one each, though, would be
One each.
good.
Let's
Yeah.
start with this. Me.
Who's that heckler in the back? Get him out of here. The bald guy?
Wait, who is that guy?
Oh. Somehow Golden Boy snuck in here.
We'll get to you.
Yeah, let's.
Real quick, what do you want? What do you have to say?
What kind of hair product do you use in the morning, Joshua?
Yeah. Same
me.
one you do. Baldy over there. What's it like to have no hair? Is it hot or is it cold? I can't tell because I'm not bald. Now, problem is, I am bald. Doesn't really work. But all right, let's go.
Let's work our way from the front
Yeah.
here.
Let's skip this guy, actually.
No.
So I'm not sure if you're aware, but the Plat Chat member Discord is currently running a members tourney. So I wanted to ask you guys what your predictions are for the 4 team, or which of the 4 teams is going to win.
You'll have to give us some detail. Okay.
So there's my team, the Brick Wall. We have two of our members here, excluding me. There's Absolute Cinema, Kurt's Kitten.
Go. I mean, if you don't pick Kurt's Kittens, we're gonna have a talk here.
And oh my god, I forgot the last one.
If
Not the
anyone
last one.
here-
You got shot, you die.
You get shot, you die. Oh, that's powerful.
Is anyone else here playing in that tournament?
Oh, sick.
two,
Okay, so we've got
a
5
couple.
people.
What team are you guys on?
The brick wall.
Absolute Cinema.
Nice. Now, I think we already agreed that we would try to play against the winner of this tournament as well. I mean, you don't have to take part.
Wait. What rank are you guys?
So our team is like gold, plat, diamond.
Yeah, it's the whole tournament, if I've got it correctly, is mixed ranks. There's like a bunch of people and max like one decent player on it. Listen, I don't mean to be rude. Sorry.
No.
One decent player.
But one very talented superhuman per team.
There is a super sub who is currently undergoing super sub allegations.
Okay.
There is one immortal on
Kurt's Kittens.
Kittens.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. All right. Well, Kurt's Kittens are going to win then.
But overall, the general is like high plat.
Okay. Yeah. No, we could beat the piss out of that.
Can we bring Bala back to play against them?
That's.
We need to bring back Bala.
Yeah, I think, dude. Who's going to win? Dryad Al-Gaib.
Kurt's Kittens.
Let's go.
Should we grab
Let's do
somebody
another
else?
question. Oh, we got one up front here.
I apologize if this is common knowledge, but in the current meta, which agents are you each maining when you play by yourself?
When we play.
Yeah, if you're solo queuing, who's your main?
Well, asking in the current meta and then asking Josh Wilkinson what he plays.
All right, that's our pocket.
So what do you play?
What am I playing at the moment? I mean, recently destroyed Sliggy playing Jet. So
Hell yeah.
I'm a Jet main now. I'm a toxic duelist player. I will find you in my games and I will shout at you.
Curious that you play a good character when it's against Sliggy, and then when you queue with me, it's only Phoenix.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm the bold Kong Kong. Yeah, I'm the British. I'm the British Kiko.
That's already taken.
Dan, do you want to admit your sins?
Right. So, when you guys are playing in around Plat Elo, and you see this Reyna in Salog doesn't come, is lurking mid, that's me. Reyna in Salog, and it's not even a joke. I'm serious. I am everybody's worst nightmare. My teammates hate me. I mute them. I keep playing. I keep going mid every round when I'm playing Icebox. And I've been playing Reyna since she came out, and I'll keep playing Reyna forever. It's not gonna change. People try to change me. People try to change my ways.
Yep.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
I'm begging her to play like Killjoy or something that just gives us a shred of value when she plays like this. Nope. You wouldn't believe. You think she's exaggerating? No,
I try
she
to
is
be-
walking down mid every round, lurking and baiting.
I try to be really annoying, so when they make me play with everybody else to go site, I won't buy flashes. So they're like, "Can you flash? Dryad, can you flash?" I don't have flashes, sorry. Oh, okay, let's... and then I go mid, and then they let me do my thing.
She used them, to be clear, because she didn't buy them.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right, Mimi, who are you in the ranked games at the moment?
Mainly like initiators. I like Fade, I like Breach, and when I run out of attention span, I lock Yoru.
Nice.
And then Shio, what rank are you currently?
Like Ascendant 3. Like,
Are you actually?
Yeah. I'm usually immortal, but I haven't played
You
enough.
put your hand up earlier for...
I lied. I got a rep. Usually playing Sova or like any duelist if these guys want to win a game. Yeah, it depends on how deep the night is. Yeah.
All right.
Another question. I'm going to work my way around. Let's go through the front row again.
Hi. This is a Mimi-inspired question. Go Birds. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Yeah. Oh, come on. A lot of you guys have been to a lot of different places around the world. What is your favorite public transit you've ever been on your entire life?
That's a great question.
What a good question. What a good question.
Mimi, I'm putting a time limit on your answer. You have 1 minute.
I have 1 minute. Okay, so there's a lot of great systems that I've ridden across the world. And I think you have to... There's kind of the balance between something that's like fun to ride and is cool and is interesting, but is also a great service. And I think immediately I go to just like the JR commuter rail lines in Tokyo. Because it's crazy frequent, crazy fast. Most of them run elevated too, so you get these really cool views. And I love that, but that's an obvious answer. And we're in Canada, and I have two systems I really like here. The Vancouver SkyTrain, I think rules. Automated trains are awesome. Being able to see out the front window, I love that. And it's just a great service. And then the TTC subway is amazing. Coming from, even from Philadelphia, no, you guys don't know how good you have it. You don't know how good you have it. The next time you have to wait 15 minutes for a train. Mine too comes every 2 minutes. I know it gets bussified sometimes.
All right. We've run out of time, and you're going to
This is gonna
start
be tough.
fighting people in the crowds.
So not the team you think is gonna win, but what team, if they won, has the best narrative if they win? You know, like PRX finally getting something.
That's a great question.
Wolves winning Cinderella run, or G2 not bumming out and dying.
I like the G2 story.
The G2 story.
I think the you know, going all the way from Ascension together, I think that whole thing is cute, and finally winning a trophy after like getting second place last time. If Wolves win and we have back-to-back Cinderella runs, then if everything's a Cinderella run, then we just have a fraud esport. Like, what?
Yeah, I know. I see where you're coming from. It would be weird. I mean, it's more of a Cinderella than T1 as well, because T1 were built to try to fight for trophies. Even though they didn't look great coming into Bangkok, the purpose of the roster was to try to compete at the top. Whereas Wolves, actually, they did build the Wolves roster with like a lot of good talent and tried to put it all together. But I don't think if you had asked them at the start of the year, they would have been like, yeah, our goal is to win Toronto. But you can't, like...
What's the best story, though, Josh?
For you.
Ow.
It's a personal question.
I think it's... No, I think it's got to be Wolves, though, hasn't it? Because it's just so ridiculous.
I think, okay, I'm thinking two things. I'm thinking the way that I feel from Bangkok for T1, it was like, if they don't win now, they're never going to win for T1. So that's kind of why I was rooting for them.
Right.
For PaperX, I feel like it's their time after so long.
No, see... No.
The time.
Stop cheering.
The better narrative is if they always fail. And I know...
We have one of those.
I know that...
We have one of those.
I know that people don't want to hear that. But once they win, suddenly there's no reason to be rooting for them as hard in every tournament because they've already got their trophy. If they've never won, then every time they get close, it's, holy shit, this is the time. So they've just always got to... So unfortunately, Heretics are kind of stealing their entire shit right now. But if PaperX win, then Heretics become that team and more people hate Heretics. So you need PaperX as the lovable failures.
It's a lot like you, Josh.
Oh my God.
That's me? Lovable failures, and he's like, yeah, that's you. I'm getting
It is you.
Yeah.
Look at your Preds.
Yeah, true.
All right, we got a question here.
Have you guys had the chance to see the Sliggy new video about the first seeds? If you guys had any opinions, because he disagrees with the whole community about the first seeds being like a curse versus an actual disadvantage.
Okay, so sorry, I haven't seen it. Kurt, would you mind just...
Dude, you got me doing 2 jobs now?
No,
All
sorry.
right.
Sorry, I meant would you allow him to follow up?
No.
Mr. Curtis. Because, so I haven't been able to see it. I assume that
I haven't either.
None of us have been able to.
I have not seen it either.
So could you give us a short TLDR? And especially if you get it wrong so that we can like tear it down without really knowing what he said.
Can you let him speak?
No.
Okay.
So one of the main points he had was talking about all the teams being safe on the top seeds. And he was very disappointed by almost all the teams not really going for like a double Senti or trying something new, only really seeing that from like G2 and like FNATIC. And they're the ones who made it through. But a lot of the other teams, they are really afraid and went back to 2024 comps. So it's a lot about like momentum if you don't play with like the demos and brand new comps.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I have actually heard him talk about that before because he was talking about one of the biggest advantages is that you can use one and done comps when you come in. I guess the problem with the way that you framed it immediately that pops into my head is that if you have 4 top seed teams, you're already saying G2 and FNATIC kind of did that, or at least to some degree. I mean, we're seeing FNATIC's composition on Ascent at the very least. And then, okay, so then that becomes 2 teams, RRQ and XLG. And to me, XLG is not really to do with that. It's to do with the fact that they just like stuck a stick in their own spokes when they came into the event. And maybe they were forced to, maybe they were mind controlled to stick the stick in their own spokes. But I think, is that not just pointing at the only team that did it wrong is RRQ? Yeah. Yeah, so...
Just Sliggy's point was just fuck RRQ.
I'm so sorry. No one saw that.
He really roasted RQ probably the most because he was frustrated that they didn't try to like do something different other than just playing like Neon or some random old.
And maybe that's because it's their first international global event as a team. And so that might be something where the coaching staff are learning just as much as the players are learning.
Also, really quickly, I know teams try to do crazy things, and a lot of them just don't work in scrim. So what do? Just go back to what works.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we don't see on the outside.
All right, let's get some more questions here. You got some numbers?
Yeah, so I was doing napkin math at the airport this morning, and teams with a bye that have the first seed in their first match, they're 8-10 going back to 2022. But teams without a bye when their first seeds are 20-1.
Teams without a bye when they
like
are
champions
first seeds.
number one
Yeah,
seeds.
so champions, Bangkok, Madrid.
So
going back to 2022.
The thing again that immediately crops into my head there is that you've got a sample bias because your top seeds are top seeds because they won a previous tournament, and your top seeds that don't get the bye are top seeds because they've just performed well in this tournament from the group. So I would imagine it's more to do with like form, right? You're grabbing RRQ had great form in stage 1, whereas a top seed coming out of like a number 1 seed from the Swiss stage of Madrid or something got that because they performed well in Madrid.
But does that not count champions groups because like number 1 seeds into champions?
But again, their form has been excellent at champions.
No, but they're starting at champions.
Yeah,
so I go to their very first match.
I see.
So like when they play their first match in Swiss stage, do they win that one? And
Gotcha.
Yes, they do.
I see. You
Almost
don't
always.
mean in playoffs, you mean their very first in Swiss.
Which is exactly the same as the teams that get the bye in M2 or M1 or just M2.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's really good stats to have. Yeah, thanks for doing. Yeah.
With the buys.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is then pretty decent data to suggest that.
But also the teams getting the buys are going to inherently play harder opponents who are more warmed up, and teams playing the group stage are playing teams that will be worse because it is 8 additional teams in those tournaments.
Yeah.
So there is like a little bias in there still, but it's still really interesting.
Man, just get all the teams on one map, make them drop down, and play each other at the same time. And then have the map close in, and whoever wins Toronto.
That sounds familiar.
Great idea.
Come on.
We have a follow-up?
Yeah, so there's been a community suggestion then for that mentality of like, for
Valorant Fortnite?
No, yeah, for Valorant Fortnite, no. For putting the number 1 seeds into, say, like a round robin, even if it's just best of 1 to determine the pick order for your opponent. So they get those warm-ups against harder teams because it's all your 1 seeds.
But why would I, as a viewer, watch those matches in care?
One more time?
Well, sorry, Mimi was saying, why would people watch and care about those matches? Because they don't matter as much. But I think also just, it seems like a convoluted fix to something where you could run like 3 GSL style groups instead.
You're not thinking of content though, right? Like have those matches, but strap like haptic feedback suits to the players. Right? I'd watch that round robin. Have them on a dunk tank and only play 1 round. And if you die, you get dunked.
No, Shai, you absolutely could do that. But you could also just do like have all teams go into Swiss. A suggestion I've heard from the community is start number 1 seeds 1-0 in Swiss and add an extra round to the Swiss
That's the best
stage,
one.
which I think makes a lot of sense. The only issue then is like broadcast and show days and how long it is. And Riot doesn't want to run a B stream, so it's like you might have to. But I think is like if you're thinking is like a format purist, not considering those other things, that would be goated.
Yeah. There are solutions. 2 18 tournaments and then champs?
Yeah.
The people are not going to like that suggestion. I quite like the 18 tournaments, but yeah, you wouldn't get Wolves. Wolves wouldn't be here.
Let's move on to the next question. We have so many. I got to work my way all the way over there after this one.
Absolutely.
Why Valorant?
It's
over
fun.
any other game or like sport. Why Valorant?
Well, I'm not. I mean, I don't think I had the option of doing another sport. I think. This body wasn't made for physical sports.
You crushed me in squash today.
I did.
You guys play squash?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Why Valorant? Why not?
Why Valorant?
Yeah.
I played CS Collegiate a lot, and League Collegiate as well. And those are like the best, most strategic games. And I feel like Val has the same macro of like League somewhat on its push-pull and is an FPS. So the person asked a question there, I'm looking that way. That's why Valorant. I think it's the best combination of both.
Yeah. I fell in love with the game when I started playing it, and also was looking for another game to cover. And I think it's tactically interesting, and I also think it's fun to play. So it fills both niches for me.
Hits the same serotonin as like a Counter-Strike or Siege, but has a more interesting macro. And I don't know, it's just fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm over here now.
Whoa.
Holy.
So this one's kind of conditional on if PaperX make the final, and also if anyone from Plat chat is casting the final. But how many members would you have to have for Sideshow to get on the track by track, to be the conductor of the train, and wear a hat on broadcast?
Okay. What I think you're not understanding is
5,000 members.
I'm not averse to getting on the train. I messaged Sliggy asking for tickets after PaperX beat. Dude, I don't even know. Who was that opening
I'll help
game?
you out, Kurt.
But yeah, I asked for tickets, but the train has left without me. The train's gone. Like I'm run over, tied to the tracks, getting mashed by the train. I'm not allowed on the train, guys.
You're stuck in Butterville.
Yeah, when they beat.
The
Yeah.
PaperX Wait.
No, I think it was when they beat Heretics. I asked for a ticket on June 8th, I believe it was, but I could be wrong.
Oh, the same day.
June
Dan
7th.
was on the
loves
Gen.G train.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Do we have another?
We got another one.
Okay, I'm going to throw in a wonky one, a very fun one. I think you'll enjoy this.
Okay.
I'm stealing my member question from the Discord, so that's fine.
All right.
So, you, Josh, famously have played in an all-star match back when, years back, a couple others too. If they brought that into Valorant at some point in the year, doesn't really matter, hey, Riot, please, with an all-star stuff, what sort of narratives, like the most wild WrestleMania sort of things, what would you guys personally want?
Okay. Well, hold on. We've got the person to answer.
Where's GB?
Where's GB?
GB. Can we get an answer to this question? If the talent did a all-star match, 5v5, what wrestling narratives would you be pulling?
Wrestling narratives I'd be pulling.
I mean, like pulling your wrestling knowledge of crazy narrative stuff.
Yeah.
What storylines would we be going for? Who's the face? Who's the heel?
Okay, so here's what I would do. There's a really, really good story involving Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock back in the day. Okay? It was basically Stone Cold needed to win the match. He needed to become the world champion. Rock desperately needed to win the match to become the next face of the company, right? So what you could do is you could have like Mimi versus Sideshow, right? Where like Sideshow's like the old guard. He's holding it down, right? He's desperately trying to cling to it. And Mimi's all like, nah, fam, your time is done, bald old creep. We're out of here. We're done, right?
For the record, I wouldn't say that.
So, well, I think you totally should. So we'll run with that.
Yeah.
And then what we'll do is we'll have like a run-in. We'll have like Leo Faria come out with like a steel chair or something like that.
Okay.
And he'll hit you multiple times, viciously. And then after that, we'll bring someone else out, throw you into a table, light you on fire, whatever we need to do.
Okay.
That's the story.
That's beautiful.
That's a good answer.
Beautiful.
All right, we're going back to the middle here. I'm going to give you the mic.
In a conversation between, I think it was Bren and Wyatt, Bren talked about how he kind of views casting as something of an art. And I think that was really revealing to me because like I felt a lot of the work you guys do on like the desk or on like the casting table, I guess, is very much like, I felt they relied on a lot of natural charisma, whereas I think that was very revealing because like it takes a lot of work. So I was wondering if like you guys had any, small victories or it feels like any improvements that you guys have seen in your own work or that you guys think is like worth celebrating. You're talking about like to the people.
That's a lovely question, actually. Thank you for that.
Famously on the desk and casting for Valorant.
But you did cast it for Fortnite as well. What kind of things are kind of casters focused on in terms of those little victories?
Yeah, like little victories. I think a lot of people focus on like what types of matches you get. Like obviously people want to cast like the big ones, like a Worlds Grand Final or like a deeper match into the tournament. But for me, it turned more into like personal improvement and like just technical ability improving or feedback from people. Like that's one of the reasons I love Val and Plat chat in general. In Fortnite, you can make like an amazing video and have like 10,000 bots commenting like for V-Buck codes. But over here, you make a take and like one guy from Korea will hate you for like 10 years now. And it's like the best thing ever. Like I love the back and forth. But like in terms of just casting in general, like just looking for that improvement, finding out how to do it, finding the relationships between casting and other arts. Like to improve my play-by-play, I started listening and like rapping to Kendrick. And looking for those flows and then like listening to that stuff back and being like, whoa, there's an improvement there. That's the stuff I really like. Like even with Mimi, we casted way back in the day. We would do practice casts and stuff. This is like 4 or 5 years ago. Like it was really fun, like VOD reviewing, getting better together. Like just the camaraderie you have in there. It's like you have your own little team, like your own little G2 or FNATIC and your own style to cast. And it's different with every person. It's really cool.
Yeah, for me, it's a little different now that I'm doing like a lot more desk analyst work than casting, because I think casting, it's the most like personally self-fulfilling thing I've done. In that, like when you're like watching back your own VODs and then you see something you fixed or worked on or improved from match to match, I find that like so compelling. Desk is a little different because you have to like work with more different people. You have to build segments. It's a lot more of like, there's a lot more job to it of like meetings and prepping and all that kind of stuff. But when we get to the big matches and it gets to be like really flowing with like narratives and feeling like I can do justice to like a team's narrative and deliver that to someone who wouldn't have like cared otherwise and like show that passion through, that just makes me really happy.
I want to just kind of share the story. I used to cast and then I stopped casting, but I am kind of around these guys a lot, and I really enjoy watching them prep because they all prep for different things. And I watch that kind of in the green room when they're talking to each other, and everybody's going for like different goals, right? When you are casting, you're going for getting better at the way that you express yourself, but also at the way that you're working with your co-caster. So that's something that kind of everybody in the scene does a lot. You're trying to get the timings right. And you're trying to get that synergy to the point that it doesn't feel like, oh, it's your turn to talk, but it's like just a conversation. And people do it in different ways. Like Mimi does it in a different way that Josh does it, for example, but it's just finding a way that works for everybody. And it's just once they get to that point that we have for everybody in Valorant, it's the little improvements that we like definitely notice and see. I feel like it's something that I wanted to do when I was casting. Because once you're doing the match, you're like able to showcase your passion through the way that you're talking, to how excited you're getting. And it's something that comes natural once you're in the game. Naturally, you want to talk about this crazy lurk that just took place, or like this kill, this ace. So you're able to kind of be yourself and talk about something that you love, while taking all of that background preparation into account. That is a lot. It's a lot of people doing VOD reviews. There's a lot of VOD reviewing about the games. There's a lot of VOD reviewing about like how you're working with your partner. And that's something that I don't think people realize what it goes behind the scenes. I like respect the guys that are still casting here, because I was crashing out when I was casting. I was crashing out.
Yeah, for me, I think one of the things that I really like focusing on is being able to find a fairly complicated concept and find the right moment in a match where the example works to explain it. So something like, what? So like the T1 thing I was talking about, where they're trying to deny instead of play for retake. You know, if early on in a game I know that both teams have very different styles, and I can set up, look how passive this team is when they're holding, they're allowing them to take the whole site, and then later on in the next half, being able to talk about, oh, do you remember that I, drew this line and was talking about how far back they were. Now look at how aggressive they are, and trying to pick the right moments in the match that give examples. Because something that when I was working with Chris Puckett on the Overwatch League, he told me was, if you talk about something but the action doesn't show it, people will not be able to put 2 and 2 together. Like, it's much harder for the average fan to be able to visualize exactly what you're saying unless it's reflected in what's actually on the screen. So when you find those right moments, it feels very good, very satisfying.
Josh, I have a confession. I know you want to go to break here, but I've been bribed, so we have one more question here.
That's fine.
I love bribing people. Okay. Okay. Mimi, you can't say transit. What's your favorite part of Canada? You can't say transit, Mimi. I'm sorry.
Let me begin. I've never been to Canada except to come here. This is my first time coming here. It's wonderful. I've really loved it. Like, Toronto's beautiful. Yeah, it's lovely. Eat it up. No, it's really nice. The spaces to walk, cycle. We've been biking around all over the place as well.
Don't worry, Doug Ford will get to that.
Yeah. The parks and stuff. It's been lovely. Yeah, we went out to Toronto Island. That was beautiful as well. Yeah, great stuff.
I'll go. I think besides Shio, have been to Canada more than pretty much like anyone else on the show that doesn't live there. I've been to Toronto 5-6 times before, and then I've also taken the VRL Canada train, the Canadian, all the way to Vancouver. Takes 4 days. Very cool experience if you ever have the time to do it. But I think the wildest thing about this place is just how damn expansive it is, that it's like everyone lives in the one small corridor pretty much from like here to Quebec City. And there's just so much like beautiful nature, all that stuff. But in Toronto, I think the biggest thing is just like every one of the major main streets with the streetcar line on it going east, west, out the city. It is literally every single place is somewhere with great food, with a great bar. You could just walk around the city for hours and find new things to do. And I really love it here.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
I mean, you live here.
I can answer it like in a reverse fashion. Like, I travel a lot outside of Canada, and other places have buildings, roads, birds, clouds, sounds. But the one thing Canada has that other places don't is like the types of people and like the attitude of people as well. So like the politeness, like the stereotypical sorry stuff. There's a big difference when you're outside the country and inside the country on people, and I feel like that's my favorite part about Canada, yeah.
What's your favorite part of Mississauga?
Saga? I live there, so it's a relevant question. Let's go. My favorite part about Saga is probably that everything's drivable and not trafficy, I guess. There's like a lot to do. It's like a mini Toronto. Weather's cool. I stay inside and play games. I don't know what I'm joshing about, but yeah. It's a mini Toronto. It's a cool place. You should visit if you have
gave such a sincere answer, and I was just trying to instigate. Dan, what's your favorite part of Canada?
Well, this is the first time that I come to Canada. It's super nice, actually. I love kind of the things that you mentioned, that you can walk and see a lot of different places, different restaurants that you can go to, different bars. But to be honest, my favorite part, Mimi, was where you took us to the Toronto Island. It was so beautiful. It's like the tiny little houses. They're so cute. As we were walking, I'm thinking like, what if I moved here? What if I moved to this little island? I retire.
Well, you can get on the 50-year wait list, Dan.
Yeah, I'm aware. But it was that nice where I was like considering, I'm like, I could live alive in this little house, in this island, isolated from everybody else. What? What is
Healy Island.
Yeah, there's other islands in the lake that are also nice.
Okay. In like 20 years, if you guys see me in an island with my 2 cats, I found my place.
Okay, well, I think Josh Wilkinson has ran off. Is he?
He's running back.
He's running back.
Look at him. Everybody's staring at him as he comes back, and don't look away.
Welcome back, Wilkinson. I think he had something planned before we go to intermission here. What was your plan, Josh?
Are you thirsty?
Don't sit on the maple syrup.
Yeah, okay.
Feeling thirsty?
That thing was pointy.
Now, we're about to go to a short break where you're able to go and get, refresh some food, get a drink, something like that. There was a fan who remembered what I said I was going to do.
Oh, God.
And I did it once before the Overwatch World Cup in 2017 or something. But that was a really small bottle. So we'll see if we can get this down before we go to intermission.
How?
There's no way.
I'm so scared.
All right, Josh.
Oh my God.
Chug, 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 chug. Oh! Oh my God!
All right.
You didn't have it all.
Post-game interview. Post-game interview.
Bro, I didn't even need to make you do it that time. That's crazy. You just did that. Like it's nothing.
My eyes are watering.
Bro, you're gonna die.
How'd you do all that?
Well, we're
Just
gonna
a
get
little
Josh
bit.
checked on.
Now, the rest of you don't have maple syrup, but
I'm so scared for you.
Dude,
there
that's a
are-
lot of sugar.
yeah, food, drinks at the back. We're gonna take a short break, and when we return, we've got to teach you some wolves chants. So get your vocal pipes warmed up. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
Dude.
Oh. Look at that.
Yeah. I've been seeing it every day at the venue.
Yeah. Every single day. TMV, oil up.
You said the words.
I just want to point out that wasn't an endorsement of the position. That was just me. That was just me reading.
I'm endorsing it.
Yeah. I mean, I've covered myself in butter and drank maple syrup. TMV could at least put a little bit of oil on. Just a little bit of oil. All right, welcome back to episode 221 of Plat Chat Valorant. Are you doing okay? Okay, the people are doing okay. The people, though, I've liked the signs, okay? I've enjoyed the signs. So you've been very creative. I've even enjoyed some of the, teams that you've been rooting for, etc. But I haven't really been hearing what I want to hear, which is the Wolves' chants. So I thought it'd be a good idea to get the two most important people for Wolves, Sufat and TMV, to run you through some. Now, I'm gonna. Well, have we got? Oh, see, I wanted Golden Boy to be in the crowd, but he's been attacked by fans towards the back. He's more popular than we are, so he's just attracting people like a magnet to himself. Okay, two more people, and then we'll give him a microphone, and he can lead the cheers from inside the crowd. Has he even turned it on? He doesn't know how to work a mic.
Turn it on.
You have to turn on.
Oh, we gave him the green one. We trolled him. The green one didn't work earlier. We already knew that. We already knew that, but we were just messing with you.
Oh, don't worry. I tell that to him all the time. So you're good. All right. Give me 1 sec. Are we doing the Wolves chants right now?
No, that's quite all right. You turn your microphone off, and we'll sit you somewhere in the crowd.
Okay.
While I walk the people through it.
Yeah, and,
all right?
and fair warning to people, if I sit next to you, I'm a little hot, a little sweaty. So you might feel my body heat.
I will say, this guy, we went to the Blue Jays game the other night, and he was heckling like a madman.
Oh, yeah, bro. What else are you going to do at a baseball game? Also, screw the Diamondbacks. You know? Trash team from Arizona. Cactus-sucking looking ass. You know? Unbelievable. All right. I'm going to unmute.
All right. The Wolves karaoke. Okay. Now, this one's very simple. I've started them out simple. First line is, "We've got baby." We've got baby, Sufat baby. I just don't think you understand. He'll kill you super fast. He's better than us fast. We've got Sufat baby. Now, you've caught on to this one quicker than I was anticipating. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, Golden Boy still is rabbiting away, giving the fans the best. The best.
Why are you doing this?
No.
You could choose to be any other way in the world, but you're choosing to be like that right now? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. I tell you, you can't trust the balds.
It's all right.
It's a fact.
It's okay.
No, we're good. We're good. We're good balds. Not that guy. You know?
All right. Let's give him another rendition then to try to lure him into the crowd of the Ode to Sufat Baby. And this one, I'm just going to let you do on your own. Run the.
Is this a second verse or?
Yeah. The second one. All right. Scroll us through to the end. I've just done them twice because I thought I might have to teach people, and they didn't need teaching.
Okay.
All right, let's kick it up. We've got baby,
Sufat baby. I just don't think you understand. He'll kill you fast, better than us, boss. We got Sufat baby.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So this one's the Ballad of Lysor. Now, he's a player. Listen, he's had his ups and downs, all right? He had a bit of a wobbler at the start of the tournament playing on a bit of omen, but he's doing okay. He's playing his heart out up there. The Ballad of Lysor goes like this. Lysor is magic. He wears a magic hat. He could have stayed with FPX, but he said no for that. He shoots them with his Vandal. He's never lost a fight. And when we win in Toronto, we will sing this song all night. Oh, Lysor is magic. He wears a magic hat. He could have stayed with FPX, but he said no, fuck that. He shoots them with his Vandal. He's never lost a fight. And when we win in Toronto, we will sing this song all night. Oh, beautiful. Give yourself a round of applause. Now, this one, I had to research what song this was even based off.
We were trying to figure it out for a while.
Yeah, I mean, that shows that we're not football fans, because it's a famous tune from football, but it's from a little-known Italian song called La Fienta de something or other.
Shall we?
La Fienta de Pizza or something. But
You see?
Not racist.
You be saying out-of-pocket stuff, bro. Don't trust this guy. Real talk,
all right,
bro.
well, now we have our embed in the crowd. Now, this one is the one you need to be paying attention to, okay, Golden Boy?
Yeah.
This is the one that whenever, like, if they give you a moment off the broadcast, you need to be leading people, like, not a conductor of a train, but a conductor of a goddamn orchestra. That's what I'm talking about.
Do you think I have, like, unlimited time on the desk or something like that? Like, what?
Unlimited time. This tune will take you 15 seconds, bud.
Okay.
And here's how it goes. Okay? Here's how it goes. We've conquered all of China. We're never gonna stop. From Toronto to Paris, we'll win the fucking lot. And when we win in Paris, we'll say it was foretold. The best team in the world, the boys in black and gold. Ale, 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 ale. Ale, ale, ale. Ale, ale, ale. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Well done.
Everybody.
And now,
oh, fun fact about that, Mimi has sang that like 800 times, but only the first line because she doesn't know the rest of it.
I'm learning it. That's why I'm here.
that's why you're here. Now, I think Golden Boy should have learned at this point then. So I want him to lead the next one.
Oh, you taint. All right.
Now, it's the same one.
Okay.
We're just same lyrics. We're just running it back just to make sure that it's tapped into that head of yours.
Okay. All right. Let me not, because my fat ass is here. Hold on. Let me get down. All right. Here we go.
All right. You'll have to help him. People around him will have to help him out.
All right.
Starts with.
It does. I don't know if you looped this one on the slideshow side, Joe.
Come on. You had one job.
I think I did.
You think you did?
Yeah. I think if you click.
There we go.
Hey.
It starts with. We've conquered all of China.
We're never gonna stop. From Toronto to Paris, we'll win the fucking lot. And when we win in Paris, we'll say it was foretold. The best team in the world, the boys in black and gold. Ale, 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 ale. Ale, ale, ale.
The Carmen Corp fans are gonna love that. They're gonna love it. Beautiful, Golden Boy. It brought a tear to my eye. It trickled down my cheek and nestled in my mustache.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Just where I want to be. Nestled betwixt your stash.
Over the hedge tortoise emote?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
All right.
Dealer's choice. I had 3 wines.
The next one, Curtis, please.
How many do you have?
Oh, buddy.
Been ready for this,
buddy. So this one, you can see the song title at the bottom. Spring Will Tear Us Apart to the tune of Joy Division.
I just want to put for the record that, Josh, when we were co-streaming early in the tournament, I asked for lyrics for all these songs from TMV, and you both laughed me out of the building.
Yeah.
And now here you are with a fucking spreadsheet of the lyrics trying to teach these people. You wouldn't teach me.
No, I wouldn't teach you.
Wow. Boo this man. Boo him.
Boo.
Best day ever.
All right, okay. Let me defend myself. First off, fuck all of you.
Fair.
Secondly, the reason we were mocking and deriding you is because the American brain cannot conceive of knowing these without lyrics, and that's why I've brought them here for the benefit of the people who don't.
Are you saying the crowd here is American?
No, I'm.
No.
Whoa.
We're in Canada, baby. Cheap pop.
I was saying that you're American, which you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got me there.
Yeah. All of these Americans coming to Canada, stinking the place up. All right, let's. Yeah, I don't have a good colonial past to fall back on. I can't be starting us down this path. All right, to the tune of "Love Will Tear Us Apart" by Joy Division. It starts very simply. Spring.
Wait for it. It disconnects after a while. There we go.
Spring will tear you apart again. Spring will tear you apart again. Now that's really it. I mean, it's a good one though. It's concise, and it's
Can't mess that one up.
It's accurate. Now this one, however, we're moving on to "Stuck in the Middle with You."
In like a scale of like Guitar Hero stars, how difficult is this?
So "Spring Will Tear You Apart" was a 1.
1 out of 5.
Yeah, you literally just have to remember like 5 words. Spring will tear you apart. Again. 6 words. 6 words. This one, I mean, it's got a
beat switch.
The
Travis Scott style.
Guy, the crowd are not gonna like it. Let's go through it.
Okay.
I got a feeling that something is right. Wolves are winning tonight. And I can't keep this smile on my face. Because Paper X is such a disgrace. What? Spring to the left of me, juicy to the right. Here I am,
I'm stuck in the middle with you. Caw.
Stuck in the middle with you. Caw. The people didn't like that one. I knew they wouldn't, but listen, that's the team they're up against. So if you're rooting for Wolves, you're rooting against Paper X. Okay? Now this one, I don't know. Are you a Manfred Mann fan?
Me?
Yeah. Do a diddy 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 do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but I like his songs.
I mean, I only know.
It didn't make it to the Bronx.
What? Sorry?
It didn't make it to the hood.
It did.
Same.
Diddy didn't make it to the hood. That's
I'm pretty sure there's like a Bollywood interpolation of this song that's bigger than the Manfred Mann version of it.
Really? Well, this one's Manfred Mann and the Wolves. So it's to the tune that you might be familiar with, and it goes a little bit like this. Do a diddy diddy dum diddy do. Killing Divine,
winning map number 2.
That's good. That's fine.
That's fine.
Musie's on a tear again, and he's fragging
all the time.
singing do a diddy diddy dum diddy do. And again, if you need a map 3, it's just do a diddy diddy dum diddy dee, and then it's killing something and winning map number 3.
Perfect.
So it's simple, it's effective, it gets the job.
And because you have Diddy in there, you can also add baby oil.
Hey. Let's move on.
Mimi, +1, +2. +1, +2.
Dude,
-2.
+2.
He's such a boomer. Not only is he requesting the +2s, but he's thinking +1 is even a thing.
I will punch you in the neck, and it will be aggressive. You're gonna wake up with a bruise. Watch.
One day I'll be that old and out of touch, and I hope someone just gets me with a spade to the back of the head. Okay.
No more.
I think that's the end of it, is it?
That's slide number 70.
That's the end of it. Well, thank you very much.
Holy shit.
Thanks for being involved in the Wolves karaoke.
What's our favorite one, though? What the best one?
We're never gonna stop.
From Toronto to Paris, we'll win the fucking lot. And when we win in Paris, we'll say it was foretold. The best team in
Warriors in black and gold.
It's beautiful. Give yourselves a
Lovely. Good job, everyone.
I think you got your answer, Golden Boy. That's the favorite.
Yeah, that's a bob, dead ass.
And I'm going to be honest, it all means nothing if you can't make the rest of the crowd join in. So, truth. You are now going to have to split up into little, like, sleeper cells, embed yourself in the crowd at large, and then turn them towards wolves. So
wait, GB, are you hosting the actual desk, like for the
all 3 days? All 3 days.
Is there like a code word you can say that is like a sleeper activation agent for the crowd?
Yeah.
Bro, if I were to, I mean, honestly,
I mean,
like, you won't have to stop anything in your analysis. We'll just start singing on that sleeper.
I don't do any analysis. That's just Mimi's job. So I can figure something out.
I think the word conquer gets it done, to be honest.
Yeah, conquer.
Nice.
Especially starting with conquer all of China. I'm sure they'll fly really well in the Riot broadcast.
Yeah. I mean, the bad part is, too, they're the number 3 seed. So they didn't even conquer all of China. It just fit. Yeah. But, I mean, they're better than the other teams, so I guess it works. All right. We got all of your predictions, but I want to do predictions after we've done a proper discussion about Wolves and Paper X. Because those are the two teams we haven't talked about too much in like an actual podcast kind of sense. So let's go with Wolves. What the hell is happening with this team? Because even if there is a portion of the community that says, well, you guys are just stupid. You didn't realize how good they were. It's classic Plat chat underrating China.
They were the number 3 Chinese team. They didn't even play that well in China.
They weren't the number 3 Chinese. They were like number 4 or 5. It's just EDG messed up. And then they slid in. Like, they weren't even technically number 3. At the end, yes, statistically number 3. I hate the stats, though. They weren't even number 3.
I mean number 3 in the sense that they literally qualified.
That's what they placed.
No, but that's what I'm saying is that they placed because,
Okay, so then what has changed? If we even take, again, world's number 1 Wolves fan, TMV, admittedly says, Wolves were shit when I was watching them in China, but they've been improving over the course of the year. They were really bad at kickoff, but they've been getting better and better. But what has caused this insane run?
Yeah. You guys all seen Space Jam? know that they give them that.
They're the Monstars.
Yeah, they're not the Monstars.
They sucked the talent out of Heretics. Holy! I knew Aspas wouldn't play like that unless he'd been drained into a basketball.
I was saying more along the lines of like when they give Daffy that like placebo juice or whatever.
Ah, right.
So like I think Sufat talking to Zelsis, I think on the day before as well, there was a pre-press conference and these guys were like dapping each other up, buddy, like they were twins. It was crazy. And that confidence I think unlocked in the whole team. And like now they're just playing with confidence, man. There were no expectations. It's not like Heretics. Yeah. The first thing people said to Gen.G when they saw him is, man, gotta get first. Like instead of hello, it was Gen.G Fishy. Are you getting first this time in the grand finals? He's like, gosh, I don't know, Matt. I can't do the accent, but
I think that is a point that I feel like is worth bringing up, the underdog mentality, because I feel like for teams they always talk about it, and Wolves. I remember the first match they won, I interviewed them, and that's what they were talking about. It's like at the beginning they were pretty sad because people were saying that they were the worst team in the tournament, that they were underestimated, and then they started kind of doing it for themselves, kind of realizing that they're good for themselves. But they still have the benefit that they come into, even in this top 4, they're coming into every single one of those potential matches as the underdog.
Yeah, I think another big thing for them too was coming into a tournament with like big meta shifts, with Teo being nerfed. A lot of the top regional teams were like big time Teo abusers, and I think that the meta with just like playing into double smokes fits super well to their strengths. Their best player is their Viper lurk player, Spring. And every map they are playing pretty much double controller with the smoker and then with the Viper as well. And it enables their attack side so much to just get them into positions on lurks, to get multi-kills and like open up sites for them in the mid round. And he does so much to make their macro on the attack side a lot better. So I think the style fits for them. They have an underdog mentality. And then also, Sufat baby.
I don't get it. Was that fast? Who? I didn't realize. That's lovely. Thank you. Thank you. They do famously have Sufat baby. Go on.
I was gonna say the thing you were talking about with PRX, like playing on site, like what is it, like 60% of the time, I guess, and not playing for retake.
Yeah.
Wolves did that in stage 1 a lot, and it was difficult for them against really aggro teams. They still made it through, but being comfortable with that style, I think in the first 2 matches that we saw, Spring like disrespecting his own Astro Walls and stuff, people like playing on site, taking risky fights, and coming ahead. I've barely seen this team play retake. They're always there, receiving and doing a really good job on defense.
You know what's funny as well is they actually do let their opponents plant quite a bit, but I think they are still trying to play that style where they fight up aggro. They're certainly not deliberately playing for retake a ton, but I think because they've played quite a lot of close games, then they're still like people are still planting on them because they lose that defensive forward hold that they're trying to take, and it gets planted anyway. But I definitely see where you're coming from. I've got a small I've got to play devil's advocate though, a little bit. All right, okay. And here I'm gonna get the boos come in. If we say, right, if you say, you got to wait until you hear the take, surely. Like, I know you already know it's a shit take because it comes from me, but you don't have to boo it before it's out my mouth. Dan, you said that it was 60% choke in the game against Gen.G, right? And that's partly because we saw Gen.G also choke afterwards too. If we say most of the time it's unlikely they're going to win games where they're down 3-9 and 8-4 and 4-8 at the half. If this game was a bit unusual, what other game can you point to where they took down a good team? The crowd's saying Heretics, and I'm right there with you. But is there an argument that this run has yet to face a big... I mean, it's hard because the big team was Gen.G.
Gen.G in 2 halves of that game looked like the best team in the world.
Yeah, and what about the second half? Yeah, so that's
less so.
Is there a point to be made there about the fact that they've had run-ins with, like, for example, it is impressive still that they've beaten BiliBili because they were worse than BiliBili in China, so they've definitely improved. But is there an argument to, like, are you impressed with the actual gameplay, not just the results? I suppose is the question.
Well, like the main thing for Wolves, and it's a test against Gen.G, it's not just also about skill and your upper ceiling, it's about consistency. And they've been the most consistent. I haven't seen them like offline really in any games. Like if Gen.G's not going to be consistent and still play at peak, which I guess is what happened, like that's also a tester. That's something you have to have in a tournament, is being consistent like all the time, especially in this type of run.
Yeah. I mean, this was an example actually of Juicy not really having his game. Was this the one where Sufat was trying to hype him up?
Yeah. The first map, right? Split, yeah.
Yeah, I think he started. Was it 0 and 10 that he began?
It's really bad, yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
I mean, I think they have had to lean on Spring a lot. Like, I haven't been crazy impressed with Juicy. He's had a couple good games, but like Spring is the player to look at that has like been bringing them through these. But I actually think your take is good that they like haven't actually really played besides Gen.G. I do rate that Gen.G game, even though a lot of it was choke, because they played a ton on the attacks, or played really well in the second half, of both of those maps. But I don't know, like as much as I want to agree with you, I also just think of T1, where I feel like I was coping in the exact same way you were when they were starting on the run, right? Like it was like, oh, surely all these teams who are playing them are choking, and they're definitely not actually good. And then it happened.
Yeah, and then G2 choked. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I do actually really like what Wolves do on split, though. I think they've got, I mean, I know it seemed a bit stupid when they only won 3 on the attack, but I thought they had great plans on their attack side. They are really good at setting up Spring for those lurk plays. And he's been popping off at this tournament. Let's talk Paper X, though. Fan favorites, but also they've never won. TMV famously argued at the beginning of this year, do not put Paper X in the S tier. You know they're not going to win a tournament. We know Paper X, we know they're not going to win. Are they going to win?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're
Are
gonna
you just saying that because it's popular or because you believe it?
I believe it. I think they've been in tournaments, I think, like Madrid, I'm thinking last year, or 2 years ago? Well,
Madrid was 2024.
yes.
Yeah, 1 year ago.
No, 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I know time.
2025
Anyways.
minus 2024.
There's been a lot of tournaments for Paper X where the expectations are so high, and then they talk about it. And that's, we sometimes think about it, we're like, is that going to get to them? But sometimes the players don't really address it, so you think it doesn't really get to them. When they do address it and say, we had a lot of pressure, we're trying to take it slow, that is the mentality the Paper X has right now, where they came to this tournament kind of barely making it to the tournament, barely making it to Masters, and now people are like slowly realizing that they're good. And that's kind of the same vision that they have as a team. When I ask them, is just, we're trying to take it slow, we're trying to take it depending on the match, and that's something that they couldn't really afford before because people are so high on Paper X no matter what they're doing.
Famously, trains do not accelerate or decelerate quickly.
Well, they accelerate quickly.
Not that quickly.
If it's an
Pretty
electric
quickly,
train,
man.
it does.
Oh, well, yeah, I suppose. I'm thinking about classic rail.
Classic rail.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You know,
Think
like
of steam engine. Think of steam engines, Josh.
Yeah, Isambard Kingdom Brunel looking ass. You know, like that.
That's what they had here when you were colonizing China. Canada, wrong sea country 200 years ago.
So I said this to a couple of fans in the venue.
Yeah.
Figured it'd be good to put it out here. I felt that if Paper X beat Sentinels 2-0, Paper X will win the tournament. That was my hot take.
Okay. And was that?
I like that.
Was that because of how they played, or just because you thought that was an important hurdle for them to get?
I think it was an important hurdle, but I also think that the inclusion of Patman gives them the range that they needed to actually like do the crazy things that they want to do, while at the same time having the sustainability of like a calm anchor that they can rely on with Patman, which they didn't really have before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Mind Freak was that before, but obviously they felt like they needed to make a change. So I think, honestly, with Patman on the team, I think they're kind of favorite. They look really strong.
Yeah. For me, it was their G2 game. I think G2 match up about the best you could ask for against Paper X. I don't know what their all-time, I think they've only played against each other once.
Yeah, once before. G2, twice.
Could you scroll down?
It was the time that Paper X picked them in Shanghai, and then G2 ruined them.
2 times.
And then there was champions as well.
So twice, yeah. And both times have beaten them. If you scroll up a little bit. Sorry.
And when they were the guard
there we
in
go.
Iceland, right?
Right, yeah. But I think G2's slower, like pace control style normally matches up really well against teams that run it down. So does FNATIC, I think.
I mean,
but
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say Paper X, they've evolved.
Yeah.
They are like a level 16 Charmander.
Not Shio. You can't pull off the analogies, man.
No.
It wasn't a bad one, but you have to like
level 40 Shelgon, and they've come out of their shell, and now they're learning, and they've become a pseudo legend.
Just boo him right now. Just save us the trouble. Thank you. Just so you know, when in doubt, just go for the booze, guys. That's all.
For G2 though, like what you were talking about with them being the team that plays retake the most, I think that kind of cooked them in this game, because on both maps they were trying to like hard retake. I noticed it on Split especially, where they're trying to hard retake, and then Paper X just plays like super forward and is always like fighting in their post plants, and G2 really struggled to like shift their utility to deal with the players that were like, you'd think out of position, but it's Paper X, so it doesn't really matter. And they weren't getting hit by the util. G2 wasn't trading, and they just could not win the retakes that normally make their defensive sides. And despite all that, it was still a close series against G2. Like, I really think if G2 played them again, they would win.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. If this match is to happen in the grand finals, I have G2 winning.
Yeah, my bracket is PaperX beats Wolves, G2 beats Fnatic, G2 beats Wolves, G2 wins the tournament.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think that should then bring us to talking about some predictions properly. Now, I've got a whiteboard for everybody. Now, one of these, you know what, actually, let's go into...
Do you want to do MVP first or team first?
No, you know what, I don't. I want us to use the back of the whiteboards, save it,
Okay.
and just do predictions. So what I want you to do is grab a whiteboard, grab a pen, and then write down who you think is going to win the game between PaperX or Wolves.
Well, I just blew it.
Well, no, you didn't. But listen, you give us a little taste test, a teaser. I mean, I think we know who you're going to go for in every one of the matches.
This is like a live potential Plat chat guarantee.
Yes.
Damn.
Wow. Never been done before. The curse would be cosmic.
Which
This is Wolves Paper X, correct?
Yeah, upper bracket final game first. So we'll do.
How much time do we have? How many permutations can I make?
What the hell are you
I'm gonna watch the game in my head.
You're running the simulation.
Yes.
Do you need to consult ChatGPT to like get the results?
Reasoned for 14.
I wish I had the pipes out. You have 10 seconds. Count them down.
Who do you guys think is going to win? Wolves. Wolves got some Paper X. Let's do like a cheer, actually. Who do you think Wolves is going to win? Paper X? Santissimo.
G2 fans, you are not very loud.
Okay, have you run through your simulations? All right then. So for upper bracket final game,
I'm so
Paper
scared.
X versus Wolves.
I'm so scared.
I think it may have
3,
happened.
2, 1. Oh!
No way! No! No! It's a live Plat chat guarantee. It's cooked. It's cooked.
Does anyone want to swap?
I think we've done
No swapping.
No swapping. No swapping.
No swapping.
No swapping. Say it with your chest.
Permanent marker. It's permanent marker. You can't swap.
Someone give me the case for Wolves then. Give me the cope.
Okay, so do you remember Bangkok Liquid? Or like, not even Bangkok, like pre-Bangkok, like going up to qualify for Bangkok Liquid.
Yeah.
They were the glue team.
They were the glue team, but like every team they faced just somehow got hit by the sniff of the glue. Like, listen, when you're in the forest, what's the most dangerous thing in there aside from the trees?
Man or a bear? Is that what you're going
a pack of wolves.
Okay.
Toronto, famous for trains and forests. Yeah.
Famous
The crowd said it. I'm just echoing.
All right, scrub it off, scrub Paper X off, and we're going to do a prediction of the lower bracket game. Because you couldn't get a better spread of like our more aggressive teams, I think, in the upper bracket, and our more like, you know, the thinking, swirling the wine, slow-paced attack side, util combo, nerd shit, basically, in the lower bracket.
I have a feeling this is going to be chalked as well.
I've got a feeling that.
I got a feeling this is going to be chalked.
No.
We've created a monster, honestly. Okay. Hold on. Shio's going through more of the permutation.
Thinking about it.
Count them down. Count them down. All right, everyone ready?
Not making a prediction right now. I'll tell you that much.
What are you doing?
What is he writing?
He's drawing a Picasso.
He made his spread.
Shio has aspirations to be an amateur artist.
Yeah, amateur, I think, might
I
be
am ready.
important.
It is time.
So let's do a countdown together. How about that? Does that work, everyone? All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, come on! Come on! This is why we need EMEA people on the show, okay? To balance out the bias.
That is so bad.
Oh, that's brutal. Well,
unreal.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's just
Congratulations to Wolves and FNATIC.
No.
So in that case, that would set up a lower bracket final of Wolves against G2.
Yes.
Ooh.
Now, we can't do it 3 times in a row.
Third time's a charm, man.
Now, let's wipe away the sins of
we're
the
wiping.
past.
Why are you gonna wipe it away? You know you freaking douches are just gonna put the same thing. Like, come on. Why be acting? Why be acting? Don't act. Don't look at this guy. This guy ain't gonna help you.
I'm not even wiping it off. Oh, God help us.
Y'all done chalked this whole tournament.
Yeah.
You know?
Can be all wrong. It's
Are we ready?
All right, guys, you want to count again? 3,
2, 1. Ay, Dios mío. Why do you do the things that you choose to do?
Now, that would set up a sick grand finals.
Yes.
Paper X G2 rematch. Now, Mimi might have already given away who she's going for. Dan agreed with her.
I could have a change of heart.
Me too. I haven't said anything yet.
Nothing about this is gonna end well. When's, like, y'all just done mess up this whole tournament? It's crazy. We have to do a job, you know that, right? And now y'all just done mess it all up. That's wild. Not in all of my 38 years of existence.
Paper X G2.
So here's the deal. I'm gonna keep it $150 with everyone. I did say Paper X are gonna win the tournament, but I am gonna vote for G2. If you have watched all the global broadcasts and you ever see a prediction and G2's in it, one thing you will notice, I always pick G2. Always. Because Valent's my boy. Love him to death. So that's just how it is. But I want a good game, guys. I want 5 maps. I want it to go 13-11. Hell, I want it to go to overtime every game. I want Brenda Luce's voice.
You don't want to go home early?
Why would I want to leave beautiful Toronto, Canada early? Ain't that right, baby? You know, in wrestling, that's called a cheap pop.
Yeah,
cheap pop.
It really is. Shio's still creating his Van Gogh look.
This fool's
Don't tell what his pred is.
I thought you were taking long doing that, but
I
what
will
is
not get
Shia
outdone
doing?
in art. I'm aspiring and amateur. 1 second.
All right.
Dan, you should lead the count for this one.
All right. Shia, ready?
Yes.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Oh, okay.
I mean, we literally drew the same thing. Paper X Train killing a G2. I mean, you drew the trolley problem.
This is the trolley problem.
Okay.
G2 are staying first. When I drew, hold on.
What did you draw here? Wait, is he drawing the trolley?
You know what's crazy? He almost drew a penis, but he had to erase it. It's crazy.
I have G2
The balls and
sending
everything.
PRX to the second place slot.
Oh!
Wait, what?
They pull the lever, and the trolley whistles down the second place and kills a bunch of orphans or whatever. Oh. It's crazy.
What is this, the good place?
He's a philosophy major. I've got Paper X as like Thomas the Tank Engine, and they finally get their smiley little victory. Yay! Because I'm living in fantasy land with the rest of the fans.
So he said the Paper X train is going to roll all the way. You've portrayed PRXs as a trolley, a streetcar even. For those of you who live in Toronto, tell me, do the streetcars run very well here? No! They
At least you
don't.
have streetcars. We ain't got nothing in LA.
They
Joint
don't.
sucks.
So what you're saying, that Paper X is doomed in Toronto?
They're gonna be deviated. They're gonna be stuck in traffic for 2 hours, and then they're gonna balk and they're gonna get a city bike because it's such an awful experience, and then they're gonna crash on a trolley track and leave in sadness.
Well, I did talk about this before, but we polled all of you in the crowd as well. On your way in, you were asked to fill out who you thought the winner of the entire tournament was going to be, which team, and also which player you thought was going to be the MVP. So I think it's time to see what you people think.
What do you mean, you people?
You people.
Expand, double down.
Now, normally I'm getting that back to me.
Hold up.
All right. The team that this crowd believes is going to be the winner of Masters Toronto with 50 total votes. Is Paper Rex. Tucked in real tight behind, though, with 38 votes. So still a gap, but definitely the number 2 team was G2.
Okay.
Yeah.
In third place, still actually quite a way behind with 25 votes, so half as many as Paper X, are their opponents from the upper bracket, Wolves. And then only 15 of you, like actually 10%, thought FNATIC was going to win the tournament.
Jeez.
Bro, FNATIC's a really good team.
They are not favored here. Wow, we've got the
They're vocal.
I will say, though, doesn't really stand up to a Wolves chant, does it? I'm not going to be teaching you who are we. It's got no tone, no melody. All right,
Should we
Mimi,
talk
do you want
MVP then?
to go through MVP?
The second question was who would be the MVP, and there was a lot of players available. A lot of people only got 1 vote. You had some great players in there. Jonah P, John QT, Wyatt River, Angel from Navi.
My goat.
But that means, by the way, that Angel and Wyatt got more votes than Devi, Lysor, or YU.
Yo, they didn't say life wasn't fair. You know what I'm saying? It's just life ain't fair. That's just it.
So let's go through the top 3 then. Coming in at 3rd place with 19 votes, Paper X's Forsaken. Woo! At 2nd place with 3 more votes than Forsaken. You know him, you love him, and we've got him. It's Too Fat
Baby!
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And your number 1 player, according to all of you, for Masters Toronto, with 24 votes, 2 more than Too Fat Baby, is Jing.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
It is a good choice.
I do also want to hear from you 3 too. If you could, give me your MVP. You can write it down on the whiteboard or you can use your mouth. Either.
Write it down with your mouth.
Or on your mouth.
It'd be hot. Or that too. Or the forehead. It's up to you.
Do you need a moment to ponder?
No, like I'm just trying to figure out who from G2 deserves it the most. Yeah, so.
Who do you think so far from G2?
Leave for me.
I think it probably has to be Leaf or like my always pocket pick is Valen because like, there's just more than stats.
Okay.
Especially for this tournament, like this land specifically, but.
Leaf, by the way, who only received 8 votes.
That's a crime. That's a crime.
You know what? You know what's an actual...
Had 5.
Who did?
Trent.
Trent only had 5.
Think about it. In Pokemon, there's only 1 legendary per fucking game.
Right.
So the lower the number of each specific legendary Pokemon. You know what? That take just did not hit. I'm not gonna lie. Because there's way more.
They tend to come in pairs. Famously.
No, but there's so many. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you messed up, buddy.
I mean,
I'm gonna sit off this one.
I was actually really surprised that Spring only got 6 votes. I think as well. Because he is one of the biggest reasons that Wolves are in the position that they're in right now. Dan, who would you go for MVP?
Can I do 1 for each team?
No. Oh. But yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this is actually, if that's going to be the grand final between Paper X and G2, this is like the hardest because I've been wanting these teams to win. So if Paper X win, even though I didn't put that they were going to win, I would love Forsaken to get MVP. that guy is like been there 4 years. I feel like I've watched him grow as like now the leader that he is, and now he incredibly flexible, doing whatever the team needs to. He absolutely like deserves it if that were to happen. And then for G2, it's a little tough. I think Leaf is the one that everybody goes for in terms of mechanically one of the most insane players that we have. But I think I would give it to Valen. Right. There's nobody really up there IGLing and also fragging the way that he is, leading a team the way that he is. So I think I would give it to him.
Okay.
For me, I think G2 is going to win this tournament. And I think the MVP is going to be Trent.
He didn't get in Bangkok.
Anyone...
He nearly did at Bangkok.
He nearly did in Bangkok.
That's what I was about to say, right? Like, he deserved it at Bangkok. If they had won that map 5, I think by all accounts, he would have had the bracelet then. He has not had quite the tournament Leaf has thus far, but he's been really close. He was instrumental in them winning Americas again. And I think as we get into the biggest matches, he is going to be the reason they win this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, he's fantastic. Yeah, I think Spring would be hands down if Wolves end up making it through. I just don't quite think they're going to make it.
I just
all the
don't
way.
think you under.
That's so true. Yeah. No, we're getting all the right cues in. I can tell. I can tell. I think that if PaperX do make it to the grand finals and they do end up winning, it could even be a weird situation where so many players play well that like a superstar on the other side might have a chance to snipe it as well. Because I think when you look at PaperX, yeah, Jing's been playing fantastically this tournament, but there are plenty of other people that you could give an award to on that team, depending on how things go. I mean, Forsaken looks like the one at the moment, but you never know if something has a resurgence or whatever. So.
What about the upside down, like the other side of reality where we're ignoring kind of right now? What about FNATIC?
I think it would come off the back of Alphayear having an insane tournament.
Yeah.
Because his form looks amazing at the moment. And even when Kayak puts up the most outrageous numbers, I find that because FNATIC put him in the positions to do that, I'm still sometimes more impressed with what Alpha does with less. Yeah. But that can also mean that, like, for stage 1, for example, Alpha was not having as much impact, and it made a huge difference. So I think it would be Alpha.
Can we take a second, though, to appreciate Chronicle? Because my guy is, like, unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. And if he wins this, wouldn't that, like, that would be pretty big for him, right? That's like GOAT status if he wins it.
He's already the most winning player of all time, but this would just put him ahead of, like, way ahead of even the second place person.
Yeah, he'd be GOAT status at that point.
But he also had kind of a rough start to his tournament.
Who,
and then
Chronicle?
only Kron, he was only really like great in their last match.
I think the argument for Chronicle is not necessarily that he's always
Why you gotta be a hater,
player.
bro?
Yeah. Pushes up glasses.
Actually underperformed in most of their games thus far.
But it's the same thing with like Sassy when he won Masters in Madrid. It's more about what he's been able to do with different pieces around him and like how consistent he's been. When you're talking about the GOAT argument, it's not that he's like always been carrying every game, I think.
That's why Josh thinks Boaster should be MVP, right?
Boaster? And you were taking the piss and the people believed you and wanted it to happen. He would be.
Honestly, I think it's only possible if we get like Haven Boaster back. Like that one Haven game where he had like 24 on smokes. Against these teams, against our like storylines, if that Boaster's here for every single map, who's stopping this team?
Yeah, I don't know.
G2.
Super baby. Yeah. You could get an amazing Valen versus Boaster, like both calling game and potentially playing game too. Yeah, I think so. I think we should aim to wrap up this episode though. And that means that it's time. Yeah. Yeah, boo. Yeah, boo.
Yeah, boo him. Boo him real fast. Go for it.
All right, we'll do another 5 hours. Okay, well, maybe not.
Shopify guys are corpsing right now.
Yeah. Okay, but the final segment is, of course, the most important segment that we do every week. It's Wyatt's Weekly Award. Now, Wyatt was here earlier on in the tournament. Unfortunately, he had to go home because Yeah. Well, Bren came in to cast and he refuses to work with Wyatt now. They had a falling out.
Yeah.
So he told him Bren would only cast this tournament if Wyatt left. So it's honestly, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. But
he complained about his voice, his hair, his eyes, his look, everything was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't.
What were we talking about?
Where is this going?
Okay. Now, Wyatt's Weekly Award. Now, this week, it is actually the most important segment, arguably, because somebody here is going to win the Wyatt's Weekly Award. There have occasionally been audience members that have won before. Like, we had Rox Fury 8, who compiled the stats and stuff, and we gave him the Wyatt's Weekly Award. But this is the first time that a physical award is going to be handed out. The GOAT Award. I don't know if we can get a tight shot of this for the people at home.
Yeah, get it in the goat's butt.
Why do you have a statue of Ye in your hands? It's kind of weird.
So this will go to the greatest of all time Plat Chat viewer. Now, a lot of you already qualify, okay, for GOAT status. A lot of you are members. A lot of you have been long-time watchers, listeners, first-time viewers, whatever.
I think that's how it goes, yeah.
By even coming out here, GOAT, okay?
Goat.
Thank you very much for coming out.
GOAT status.
Really appreciate it. I mean, the people coming out from New Zealand and Australia and shit, you're crazy. You're crazy for that. But thank you very much to everybody who's come out to see the show today. It's extremely appreciated. The way, though, that we're going to have to determine which of you deserves it the most is by testing you on Plat Chat knowledge. Not Valorant knowledge, because none of us know anything about Valorant. Plat Chat knowledge. So, Kurt, I don't know if you have this available.
I do, but I want to preface that I'm not a narcissist with this first question.
Yeah, no, okay. But,
made this.
Okay,
I didn't.
so what I wanted to do is I want to show you the format and give you an easy one to begin with. So, let's...
Yes, Kurt is the GOAT. Kurt is the GOAT. Kurt is the GOAT. He is the GOAT.
So, the way this is going to work, okay, I need everybody on their feet for this one. We're all standing up. And now I can't see.
Burn those calories, guys. Burn those calories.
Now,
you wouldn't assume some people are this tall or short.
I'm going to stand up as well. All right. So the way this works is every question is true or false. All right? You're going to get a true or a false. I want you to put your hand up if you think it's true. And if you think it's false, keep it down. And then if you get it correct, you stay standing. If you get it wrong, you sit down.
Oh, so it's like a actual survival thing.
It's going to be last man standing.
A battle.
The circle's going to shrink, so if you're on the outside, you're screwed. No, so it's just literally going to be last one standing, okay? And if we get a tie towards the end, we'll run into the next question to break the tie.
If you get a tie, what we'll do is a knife fight outside.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah!
Josh, you like knife fights famously.
Yeah.
I'm from London. That's right. He's from London. He loves those knife fights.
Okay, so let's start us off. First one, an easy one. Kurt is the GOAT. True or false?
True.
I'm trying to see.
It's my GOAT.
No, nobody even for comedy value keeping their hand down. All right, fair enough. Keep an eye on your neighbor as well, okay?
That's right. Buddy system. Keep everyone accountable, okay?
Keep everyone accountable.
Be a rat here.
Let's go for the next question then. Barla's law states that the lowest chance any underdog has of winning a match is 30%. True or false?
Oh.
Hey.
It is true. It is true, Barla's law. It's 30%, and it's also been backed up by our Plat Chat guarantee as well.
There's a couple sitters. A couple people got that wrong.
A couple of people got knocked out by that. Fair enough. That's okay. He's not on the show anymore.
Never doubt Bala.
Let's go on to the next one then. We knocked out a couple of people. Now this, Sideshow had hair. Now, Boy's referring to himself in the third person. That's kind of weird. I had hair when Plat Chat Valorant first began.
I don't even know this one. I was there.
I don't mean little bits of hair. I mean like as much hair as I could grow hair.
The Sideshow Bob look that he had in the Overwatch League. Y'all remember.
True, hands up. False, hands down. It's true.
Whoa! When did you get the mustache?
We've lost a couple. Dude, I didn't have the mustache until after VCT lock-in, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like 2023. Like,
You had like a goatee, right? At one point, no?
I didn't have a goatee.
A goatee.
I was like, oh, Walter White. Never mind. It's all good.
All right. Next one. True or false? Mimi drank glue on a Plat Chat episode after Liquid qualified to Bangkok. True, hands up. False, hands down.
Mimi, I'm about to judge you really hard.
It's false. She did not drink the glue.
I just sat on a chair with glue. That was all. No drinking happened.
No, that's TNT.
And you had to throw out your pants, I remember.
No,
right?
I cleaned them. They're fine.
Great
I
job.
have them at this event.
You're wearing them right now?
Oh, I wish.
All right, let's have the next one. Plat Chat Valorant started before Boaster ever played an official match in Valorant. An official match for this means a match recorded on VLR. And if I see you pull out your phone, I'm throwing the mic at you.
Which, by the way, he'll probably miss and hit someone else. So collateral damage, watch out.
So true would be hands up if you think that we had an episode before Boaster's career began in Valorant. He was still doing other stuff beforehand. Or hands down means you think Boaster's career began before we did.
Because of Plat Chat, some have said.
Yes.
All right. It is false.
Oh!
That
Yo,
one
so many
knocked
people
out
sat down.
Half the people.
Now, if
That's
you look,
crazy.
if you look it up afterwards, what you'll see is that our channel hadn't even started putting them out because we were still putting them on the Overwatch channel at that point. But
That's semantics, though.
No, it's not semantics because again, the Boaster had still played a game before even that.
Okay.
So Boaster had played 2 matches before we started with our first ever episode. And I can't even remember what tournament it was, but we started right before the Twitch Invitational. If any of you remember that.
Oh, I casted that one.
June of 2020. Yeah.
Hey, remember when I casted Valorant? God, that sucked. It was great.
Okay. So that one was very close. Plat Chat Valorant, I've told you already, began on our Overwatch channel. It was originally known as Clutch or Kick. True or false?
Ooh.
True would be hands up. False would be hands down.
Got some truers out here. Got some falsers.
It's true.
Oh!
My God.
It's true.
How many we got left? Oh, my goodness.
And notably the Atlanta Rain jersey.
Let's go!
Who was probably watching on the Overwatch channel. Yeah, did get that correct.
The
Now-
Philly Fusion guy's already out, sadly.
Yeah, now I think if you watch the very first video, we don't even have a name for it. But it did even end up
Became
being,
Clutch or Kick.
Yeah.
Wyatt and I hated the name.
It was a shit
and,
name.
Changed it to Plat Chat Valorant.
It was a shit name.
So shout out to Wyatt.
Yeah.
Who thought of Clutch or Kick?
Oh, I think it was me.
Yeah, you should go.
Dreadful name.
Boo him.
So,
Boo him. Boo him.
All right,
Thank you.
sorry.
Thank you.
All right, Dan, the people don't like me. Would you mind reading out the next one?
God, you hate me, right? According to Rox Fury 07, who gathered data from Plat Chat episodes, Bren has predicted worse than a coin flip all time. True or false?
So this was data that I think he posted this about 4 months ago. So it's not directly up to date, but it was based on the graphic that was posted recently. We had it on the show. Was Bren better or worse than 50%? Hands up for worse than 50%, hands down for better than 50%. It was 54%.
Oh!
He did not. It was false. So if you had your hands down, stay stood up.
Should we?
4. We got 4 people left.
4. Do we want to bring him on stage?
Yeah, let's bring
him on.
Bring him on the stage. Bring him on the stage. Come on, let's go.
There was some people at the back as well, so there are
Yeah, we got some more in the back.
Yeah.
The real ones.
Perfect.
Well, you know, everyone's real one, but you know. Here you go. Here you go.
All
Okay,
right.
okay.
I think one more question, and then we'll get some personal information and ask you names and stuff. But we'll try to knock you down a little further before we go there. What is our next one? Okay. Our oldest episode. Oh yeah, I mean you can't see the question, can you?
You can read it. It's fine.
I'll read it out. I'll read it out. Our oldest episode with over 100,000 views was the first time Bala ever joined the show. So that means if you go and look on our channel right now, and you go to the oldest episode currently that has over 100,000 views, was that the first ever appearance of Bala on Plat Chat Valorant? True would be hands up. False, hands down.
We got some truers out here.
It's 3 and 3.
Oh.
3 and 3. That is...
Oh my God. Some hearts are about to be destroyed.
Now, I will say, we'll lock it in there. The episode before was like 30,000. The episode after Bala was like 20,000. Somehow the episode with Bala, 150,000.
Yeah! That's because Bala's the GOAT.
Thank you for playing. Thank you for playing. And who was the third one who got it wrong? Thank you for playing. Back to your seats if you don't mind. And we'll keep the winners up here on 3.
All right.
Whoa.
Scooch in, guys. Scooch in. Do we want to talk to him, Josh? All right. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name's Jillian. I'm from Buffalo, New York.
Yeah, New York in the house. Kurt's from Buffalo too.
You've been watching the show.
Honestly, I just got into it recently. I haven't been watching you guys too much. I'm just pretty lucky. I'm pretty lucky.
Let's go.
Oh, shout out to the log play. I need to take you with me to Las Vegas so I can make some money. Okay.
I just went to the casino Saturday and I did win $175.
Oh my God.
Okay.
He's rich.
Okay. All right. You're up
Wealthy
next.
beyond all comparison.
Same question. Who are you? Where are you from?
I'm Mika. I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia, east coast of Canada.
Woo! Nova Scotia in the house.
How long have you been watching Plat Chat?
I want to say a little past episode 70.
You know the number. Episode 70. That's a long way. What year was that?
Fuck if I know.
Do you know? Well, I just went back through a lot of the episodes. Episode 70 is about when you started coming on the show, Mimi.
That's crazy.
You brought your biggest fan with you up on stage.
All right. Up last. Who are you? Where are you from?
I'm Amy. I'm from Sydney, Australia.
Sydney.
Hey!
Okay. Amy, how long did it take you to get here?
Ooh, I think from Sydney to Toronto, maybe 21 and a half hours.
Good God.
21 hours. And how long have you been watching Plat Chat?
That's a really good question. However, sometimes I'll watch it and fall asleep and it'll autoplay the next episode. So I think I've watched a lot by osmosis in my dreams. So I can't tell you.
That's where you have all the data from. It's just absorbed into her dream.
It's crazy that sideshows in your dreams.
It like lulls me to sleep.
Yeah, I have that effect. on
Josh, I don't know if we should take that as a compliment.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Shall we do the next one, Josh?
Yeah, I think we should do the next one. Shayo, would you mind doing the honors for the next one?
For sure. Okay, double parter.
Book.
The first 12 episodes of Plat Chat Valorant were on the original Plat Chat Overwatch channel. Sideshow, Bren, and Wyatt were all on the first ever episode. True or false?
Ooh, that's a tough.
30% of the people on stage said true. 33.33333.
Yeah, Shao, that's 66%
I didn't see the
repeating,
second
of
hand.
course.
I didn't see the second hand.
That's crazy. The answer is false.
Oh! Sydney in the house, baby!
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Amy.
Thank you.
You've won. How does it feel?
I'd like to thank Wyatt, and I'd also like to thank Wyatt.
Yeah!
Yeah, give it up for Wyatt.
Yeah! Give it up!
Now, I think we had some more questions anyway. Do you want to just run them just for the hell of it?
Let's do it. How many questions?
I think there was only like 2 more or something. I can't even remember. But listen, taking a seat. Esteemed colleague.
She's part of the cast. She's in the cast now.
Esteemed colleague.
Amy's in.
All right. Let's see what sorry?
Who was on the first
Who was on the first ever episode? The first ever episode was the same people on the Plat Chat Overwatch episode. So it was Sideshow Bren, Reinforce, and Mr. X. There you go. That was...
What the hell did Matt know about Overwatch?
Yeah, nothing.
Well, that too, and Valorant.
That's why we...
Love you,
All right,
Matt.
What's the next one then? Watermelons, oh hello.
Oh God.
Watermelons, pumpkins, cakes, eggs, and toys have all been destroyed as teams were eliminated during Plat Chat co-streams. What do you think, people? We'll let you play again. True or false?
I want to believe all of it's true.
Honestly, that's kind of split the crowd a little bit. I mean, we've got more trues than falses, but it is true.
Hey!
The
Is there something else you want to destroy on stream? Like a watermelon, like Weird Al Yankovic, you know? Like
what?
Like a watermelon.
We did watermelons.
Oh, you did? Oh, I didn't see
We did
it.
watermelons.
It's not easy from this side. You can't see everything.
I can't see. Mimi's
That's
hair
what
was
I'm
blocking
saying.
it. I'm kidding. I can't see. I'm blind.
Did we have another one as well? The top 2 most viewed episodes of all time.
True.
Do not feature
True. I'm
Sancho.
voting in this one.
True.
True. I'm going to believe it's true even if it's false.
It's true.
But it is true.
Yeah!
What were they?
Bren and Mimi are on them both.
Dude. Mimi's a draw.
Was one of them the 4-hour episode?
Yeah, I think
It was the episode that you were trying to make like 5 hours because you were
The
hosting.
one I hosted that I
Pachuca
just
and
kept you
Paper Thin.
hostage?
Yes, and I had to message you like, I am dying. I need to eat, and then we ended the episode. And that's the formula for
That's
like a
crazy.
600,000.
How do you guys watch 4-hour episodes? Who has time? But do you have
You
jobs?
guys are sick. Sick.
All right, do we have another one, or was that the final one? Oh, hello now, Dryad. Can you stand at the front for this one, please?
Okay.
There is a 2...
Take a look at my shoes. Take a look at my shoes.
Yeah, the shoes have got a big sole on them.
I go next to Josh. You can compare.
Yeah,
I don't.
there is a 2 foot... Now, this says 2 inches, but I messed that one up. There is a 2 foot height difference, 61 centimeters, for those of us using proper units, between the tallest and shortest ever Plat Chat Valorant host.
I know you, and I know this is going to be a rug pull, that it was more than 2 feet.
Well, do you know who they are? Because I'll tell you right now who they are.
Ender.
One is Dan, and one is Reinforce.
Taller than Ender?
Yes. Reinforce is taller
you know
than
what?
Ender.
He's not.
Because we're not competing for the award anymore, because the award is off to Australia, I'll tell you as well that Reinforce is 6'8".
Yes.
Jesus. And Dan, how tall are you?
So then it becomes the question of, is Dan 4'8" or taller? True, false?
I'm not. So obviously, I'm not saying my height. So you guys just gotta guess that.
What do you reckon? Is there a 2 foot height difference? True or false? Couple of people going true, most people going false. It is false. But there's only that much in it.
When's the last time you measured Reinforce?
What, you think he's grown?
Yeah.
Bro,
Could be
he's
a
from a
possibility.
Swedish fishing village. He keeps growing.
He does keep growing.
I see him every time. He's taller.
Do you think I'm getting shorter?
Or you're shrinking too?
Or I'm shrinking because I'm getting older. It's one or the other.
Do we have another one, or is that the end of it?
That was the final question.
That's the final
Hey!
one. There we go. Well, congratulations again. Take your award.
Give it up, give it up, give it up.
All time.
Round of applause, baby.
All right, for all the people at home who are watching this from a distance, we're going to be ending the stream and doing a meet and greet with the lovely people here. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please click the subscribe button if you wouldn't mind.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. And keep an eye out if you're at home or if you're here as well for us potentially doing this again in the future. I certainly had a huge amount of fun. And a huge shout out to Shopify Rebellion.
Shopify!
For giving us a genuinely incredible space in which to do this.
Josh, by the way, set up this whole event.
The whole
on
thing.
his own. He did not really consult the rest of us.
And he told all of us at 3:30 p.m. today to come over. So that goes to show you.
Yeah, I mean, I would have just done it on my own.
But for real, huge shout out to Josh. I know I get a lot of credit for some of this stuff, but Josh did everything.
Yeah.
He did everything.
But I would love to make something like this happen as well in Paris. I don't know whether you guys will be out there or whether it would be a different crop of people. Whether we can or not, I'm not sure yet, but it's been a lovely time having you.
Your
Thank
French
you.
is pretty good. We could do an episode in French, right?
Mon français est exquisite.
Parlez-vous français?
Yeah, I mean, we could do an episode in French here, couldn't we, in Canada?
Maybe not Toronto.
No, in Toronto.
Oui,
Well,
oui.
Good, potentially.
Right, that's what
anyway,
they say.
The point being, thank you very much for coming out. We appreciate the support massively. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following us for years. Thanks for turning up to a show that you had no idea what the hell it was going to be, except being sat down for 3 hours. Thank you very much for attending. Really appreciate it. And I think we should end it there and then pull people up to do a meet and greet session, right, Kurt?
That sounds good. I'm clicking the button. See you later, guys, on the internet.
Bye-bye, internet people.
Bye, internet.
Everybody say goodbye.
Lovely. All right, we're gonna